The following is an exclusive presentation of Blaze Sports.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field here in Arlington, Texas. And if you didn't think 2 games of Big 12 championship baseball were enough, you're in luck, as we've got a third just about ready to start between the 7-seeded Oklahoma State Cowboys and the 10-seeded Baylor Bears. We welcome inside the broadcast booth Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater. And Kevin, this is an Oklahoma State team that is riding high. They came in, they swept Arizona State to end their season, and they're looking to continue that mojo with the winner of this ball game getting the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, they've won 9 of their last 10 games. You want to get hot at the right time. There's no better time to get hot than the final couple weeks going into your conference tournament weeks. In Oklahoma State right now, golden opportunity here to build on a resume. They come into this Big 12 championship as on the 3 line right now, but a couple wins here or there. Obviously, we saw earlier today Arizona State losing as well, which potentially opens up a spot for teams like Oklahoma State to climb up the ranks and maybe get to that 2 line as well.
This is a big opportunity to do it. A Baylor Bears team that comes in winners of 3 of their last 4, so they have done pretty well as of late themselves. While the Oklahoma State Cowboys will be wearing their home white pinstripe jerseys with black caps interlocking OS on the brim in orange. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Baylor Bears wearing green jerseys with gray pants. They'll start with the right fielder Enzo Apodaca. Leading things off, Travis Sanders will hit second and play second. Tyreek Kemp will hit third and play shortstop. Wesley Jordan, the power-hitting left fielder, will hit in the 4 spot. Pearson Reebok, the third baseman, will hit 5th. It'll be the designated hitter Hunter Simmons who will hit 6th. Gavin Brzezowski will hit in the 7th spot and play 1st. And rounding it out is Ty Johnson, the center fielder, and Cortland Castle, who will do the catching duties and round out the order. They'll face, for Oklahoma State, Sean Youngerman, the 6'3" righty junior out of Valencia, California, a transfer from Westmont College who last year went 11-1 with a sub 3.5 ERA. And Kevin, what does Baylor need to do to get out on the right foot early?
Well, I think you have to look back at how they've won 3 of their last 4, which is take advantage early against these opposing teams. It's a Baylor team that I know with what their record looks like, they're the 10th place team in the conference right now. But hey, this is a 33-win ball club. Nothing to slouch about whatsoever. They're really good when they're able to get out in front, because if you're leading late in the game and you can hand the ball to Gabe Craig, you feel really good about yourself if you're Mitch Thompson.
13-17 in the Big 12 are these Bears, but as you said, 33-21 overall, and we're just about ready to get things going as Enzo Apodaca steps into the box. Again, Baylor wearing green jerseys with Baylor across the front in gold font, green caps with gold bills, and gray road pants. Youngerman's ready with the first pitch, fires it in, it skips in front of home plate. We're underway at 4:28.
Yeah, and this is a Baylor team that's going to have to be patient.
That one just outside. It's 2-0 to Apodaca.
They come in with the 3rd most walks of any team in the Big 12 on offense, 270. This is a team that's going to take their walks. You really have to earn your strikes if you're Sean Youngerman and these Cowboy pitchers today.
Big swing and a miss there from the right fielder. It's 2-1. Apodaca, senior, transfer from Gonzaga, from Scottsdale, AZ. 2-1 from Youngerman. Inside, 3-1.
And you look up and down this lineup at the top, the numbers are so deceiving because you see the 13-17 record in Big 12 play.
As Apodaca fouls that one right behind home plate, and that runs the count full.
you see 13 and 17 in the Big 12, but you look down the lineup card, Abdak at 291, you have Sanders on deck at 338, Kemp at 364. They have several hitters hitting well in the 300s. It's one of the most confusing things I've seen in quite some time.
Payoff pitch is hammered into deep right center field. Converging under it is Schubert, the right fielder. He makes the catch and one away after a prolonged AB for the right fielder.
And those are the type of at-bats you should expect here today if you're a fan of the ball club or you're listening to us here on Blaze Radio. Baylor, like I said, a lot of walks. You look back to the identity of these Mitch Thompson teams going back to his days at McLennan Community College. They're very patient teams. They wait for their pitch. They don't make a lot of mistakes on offense. Really what's hurt them is sometimes they don't get out of the gates fast enough.
So Travis Sanders, the second baseman, steps in, takes a first pitch ball. Transferred from a team we saw in the last game, Texas Tech, where he only played in 13 games. 1-0 from Youngerman. Down and out, 2-0 for the Boston Red Sox draft pick, picked in 2022 out of high school. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the 2-0 home. Sanders sends that one on a line out to center field. Ranging under it is Colin Ritchie. He makes the catch, so a fly out to right and a fly out to center. That's how the Baylor half of the first starts.
And that's been so interesting to see how these teams hit today. Indoors, first of all, so no conditions are going to affect the ball. It's truly its natural flight path here today. But what is also interesting is how big this park is. 407 straightaway. It jets back, though, in the power alleys to 410 feet. We've seen a couple of 408, 409-foot flyouts today, which, as a college hitter, is frustrating because during the regular season, you hit a ball 409 feet, you're going on a trot. Instead, you're taking a trot back to the dugout and not for a good reason.
Tyreek Kemp pulled back a bunt. Now we'll face the 1-0 count. Swings and misses through that one at 1-1. We also saw a couple of home runs that were well over 420 in the Cincinnati-Texas Tech game, and a couple of loud barrels to begin things for Baylor as Tyreek Kemp, familiar with the Sooner State, transfer from Western Oklahoma State College. 1-1 is outside for a ball, 2-1.
Yeah, and Kemp's been kind of that spark plug, that consistent guy in the middle of the batting order here for Mitch Thompson. I mean, he has been so solid this season.
Kemp pops that one up into shallow third base territory. Ranging in to make the play is Brock Thompson. He does so, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Sean Youngerman. Oklahoma State will pick up the bats when we come back. 0-0, bottom of the first, here on Blaze Radio.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy New, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the playoff push for NBA and AHL, the start of baseball season, all of March Madness, and so much more. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk about sports. So join the conversation. Listen live on BlazeRadioOnline.com every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Or, if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Landon.
And I'm Bella.
And welcome to Album Splain.
Every week we'll be dissecting and discussing one of our favorite albums.
From No Doubt to Claro, tune in to hear us chat about our favorite thing,
music.
Tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. on Blaze Radio Online.
Or listen on your favorite podcast streaming service.
See you soon.
See ya!
Sitting in traffic, bored of listening to the same artist on repeat? Tune in to Alternative Route instead, the music show on Blaze Radio that talks about a Latin artist or band every week that is making music in the indie and or alternative rock genres. Join DJ Mavette for the second season of Alternative Route as she breaks down these artists' innovations and analyzes their songs in order to understand their craft better. Take the Alternative Route every Tuesday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. live on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com.
here, just about set for the bottom of the first. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater, and here's how Oklahoma State will line things up for skipper Josh Holliday in his 13th season. They'll start with Braden Smith, the second baseman, leading things off, followed by Ian Doherty, the catcher, Nolan Schubert, the power hitting right fielder, and another power hitter in the cleanup spot, and Colin Bruggeman, the first baseman, followed by Jason Jones, the DH, and the 5-hole. Colin Ritchie, the center fielder, will hit 6th, and they'll round it out with Avery Ortiz at short, Alex Conover, the left fielder, hitting 8th, and Brock Thompson, the third baseman who made the last out, will round out the order. And they'll face Ethan Calder for the Baylor Bears, the lefty out of Austin, Texas, who was an all Big 12 honorable mention last year with a 5-3 record and a sub 3.5 ERA. Smith steps into the box, lefty-lefty matchup to begin things. First offering's in there for a strike, a sinker at 89, 0-1. Third baseman Pearson Reebok playing even with the bag. Might expect a bunt as Smith chops one over to Brzezowski at first, and he'll take it to the bag himself. Call that one 3 unassisted for out number 1.
It's a really smart play there from Brzezowski, the first baseman. Just a hanging breaking ball that Smith got on top of and pounded right into the ground. Nice job by Calder to come over there and cover as well, but Brzezowski does a smart thing, communicates, says, hey, this is all me, and easily wins that race over to first base.
So in steps Ian Doherty, the catcher, hitting in the 2 spot. Not often do you see a catcher hitting 1 or 2, but we've seen it a couple of times as Doherty pulls back a bunt. It's in there for a strike anyway, 0-1.
I would tell you, young Cavan is jealous right now of Ian Doherty. Catcher's hitting in the 2 spot, are you kidding me? I love it.
Houston had a catcher earlier this month hitting leadoff in Jimenez. 0-1, catches the upper part of the zone. A 4-seam fastball at 89, it's 0-2.
Well, and even at the big league level, Austin Wells was the leadoff hitter on opening day for the Yankees. Hit a homer.
They're starting to work up the ranks in the order, are those catchers. 0-2, Doherty swings and misses. That's a drop third strike. Throw down to first is in plenty of time, and it's 2 up, 2 down to start things for Ethan Calder.
Well, it doesn't help the brand for catchers getting bumped up in the leadoff spot there at all. But let me tell you, that's a great sequence, though, from Ethan Calder. It goes fastball in for the first 2 pitches, then goes breaking ball down and away. And it gets Doherty way out in front, and he fans on it completely. Also, really nice job by the catcher, Cortland Castle, not batting in the 2 spot for Baylor, by the way. Gets enough of that ball to deflect it up on the first baseline. If you have to block it and you can't control it, you always want to make sure in those drop bird strikes to get it up that first baseline. He does so.
Castle hitting down in the 9 spot, and now hitting in the 3 spot for Oklahoma State is the power hitting Nolan Schubert, who watches a first pitch downstairs for a ball. Leads the team in homers with 17, as well as RBIs with 53. 1-0 from Calder, misses outside, 2-0.
17 homers is ridiculous. Like, that's insane to me. And when you do the research for these games or whatnot, obviously we've been hearing his name a lot all season.
That one upstairs, so this count quickly working in Schubert's favor.
The amount of times you just look at your phone or whatnot on social media and you just go, he did what? He does it again. I mean, there's only a couple guys that come to mind. I think Condon was an obvious one when he was with Georgia last couple of seasons.
3-0 foul back to the screen. That makes it 3-1.
And they're fun to watch. And when you're putting up these type of power numbers at the collegiate level, it's hard not to be impressed. I mean, 616 slug, OPS of over 1,000. Like, it's fun to watch this. It's fun to watch guys like him.
Here's the 3-1 from Calder. That one popped sky high, almost hitting the top rafters. In foul territory is Reebok. He drifts under it to make the play. And so these pitchers trade 1, 2, 3 frames to start the first. No score through 1. Come on back for our penultimate day 1 game here in Arlington on Blaze Radio.
Hello, friends. Is golf your groove? Then boy, do we have a show for you. Join Peter Bishop, Ian Lonergan, and Owen Castle every Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com for your latest golf news.
It's time for the Beatdown on Blaze Radio from 2 to 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday afternoons. Seth Golefsky and Willem Marietta take a deep dive into the ever-changing landscape of the UFC. We are talking tactics, breaking down the biggest fights, and giving you the scoop on what's next in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Whether you are a diehard fan or new to the fight game, we've got something for you, only on the Beatdown on Blaze Radio.
Are you wondering what's going on in pop music today? Tune in to Blaze Radio every Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for our specialty show, Behind the Beat. Listen to me, AJ Shinko, and my co-star Catherine Wong dissect the meaning behind your favorite songs and albums. We cover all genres, a plethora of artists, and we showcase the lore of songs we talk about on our show, Behind the Beat.
Nothing here at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater. We ended the bottom of the first with the Oklahoma State leader in home runs and Nolan Schubert. We begin the top of the second with the Baylor leader in home runs. That's the cleanup man, Wesley Jordan, as he swings at the first pitch and skies it into center field. Colin Ritchie calling off the left fielder. Conover makes the play. One pitch, one out here in the second.
In this game, there have been now 7 outs recorded. 5 of them have been in the air. It's interesting to see the way that all these hitters are continuing to get underneath these pitches. And this was a storyline throughout the ASU BYU game. It was a storyline that you and Aiden were talking about in that Cincy Tech game as well. The guys are getting underneath the balls, and because there's no wind, there's no sun as well, it's a lot easier for these defenders.
Pearson Reebok, the third baseman, steps in, evens the count at a ball and a strike. Trying to follow in the footsteps of his brother Barrett, who's a minor leaguer in the Guardians organization, as he fouls that one back to the screen, 1-2.
And what a great year he's had overall as well. Big 12 all-freshman team this year. Got an honorable mention as well for the first and second team nod too.
1-2, skied foul down the left field line. Giving chase is Thompson, but he'll lose his ball cap and go pick it up as that one caroms into the stands. A pretty solid crowd on hand, as it's now almost 5 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. It also helps when you have an in-state team like Baylor and a team in Oklahoma State that's not too far away. 1-2 from Youngerman. Big swing and a miss. Only the second strikeout of the game and first for the Oklahoma State righty, 2 away.
He made 91 look like 101 out of the hand right there because of the sequencing he used against Reebok. You go breaking ball, then you speed him up upstairs with the fastball. You really change the eye levels. And Reebok stood no shot at all. I mean, that's a great sequence right there from Youngerman.
It's absolutely what he wanted, as now Hunter Simmons, the DH, steps in, swings and drives one down the third base line. It's a fair ball. Simmons will take the turn and head for second. Conover had it jammed in the corner. It's a 2-out stand-up double for the DH Simmons, and Baylor, a runner in scoring position with 2 away.
Hunter Simmons, in the process of running towards second base, also loses the logo on his helmet as well. Fastball middle in with some cut there as well, and he just yanks it right there down that left field line. Good effort from Thompson, the third baseman. And a big sally from Simmons, who pounds his chest with authority. First base hit of the game for either side.
Now Gavin Brzezowski will look to pay it off. Transfer from Northeast Texas Community College. Watches that one go outside for a ball. like Hunter Simmons, who stands on second, missed most of last year with an injury. But obviously, both those guys have picked up very well. Simmons hitting .307 now, and Brzezowski at .254. 1-0's downstairs, skips in to Doherty. It's 2-0.
Yeah, and that's the big key with this Baylor team. They talked about it a lot throughout the offseason, that their big goal for 2025, obviously winning games is the obvious one. Everyone's going to tell you that. Theirs was very simple. It was, we need to get healthy. There was too many injuries down the stretch last season that really derailed their season, and they missed the conference tournament outright last year as well. This is about their first conference tournament game since 2022.
2-0 pitch, framed on the outer third, but no dice, says home plate umpire Doug Williams, and it's 3-0. And Oklahoma State, on the contrary, this year has dealt with a little bit of injuries, not as much as Baylor did last year. 3-0, in there for a strike. Youngerman only making his 6th start in 20 appearances this season. Simmons a pretty good lead off a second. Here's a 3-1. That one high and inside. It's a 5-pitch walk, and 2 aboard for Baylor, trying to pay off the 2-out double.
Yeah, and that's a really nice job by Brzezowski, staying patient. That's the patience we talked about off the top of our broadcast this afternoon. As you're going to see a meeting of the minds out there on the mound, as you get Rob Walton scrolling out there, who just announced his retirement following the conclusion of the season a couple of days ago. And this is an early pep talk for him. 8th and 9 here coming up for this Baylor team. That's Ty Johnson and Cortland Castle. Johnson's a contact hitter. He's not a guy with a lot of power, but he's very disciplined at the plate as well, and he's got, you know, very consistent stroke. He's a base hit type of guy, which is what Baylor needs right now. You don't need to get a home run here, as the 2 games before us have shown. It's tough to hit home runs in this ballpark.
Rob Walton, if you're from the state of Oklahoma, a staple, played in the mid-'80s at Oklahoma State, played for the Orioles in the minor leagues, and then since 1999 has coached around the state, was an assistant at Oral Roberts, then took the head coaching job. He was there from 2004 to 2012. He's been on the Oklahoma State staff since 2013. As Ty Johnson, the center fielder, steps in, like you said, just looking to drive something into the outfield to break the scoreless draw. First offering in there for a strike, a slider at 80. Good movement.
Yeah, and it's going to break down towards the back leg of Johnson, that left-handed hitter in the box. He stands back in the box as well, which means he's going to have a tough time reacting late to the slider.
0-1, a big swing and a miss there from Johnson, and he's quickly behind 0-2 here.
Good changeup there. Pulled the string on it, down and away from Johnson. This is a big pitch here. If you can get the second out with the number 9 hole hitter up and can avoid having multiple runners on for the top of the order, that's huge for OK State.
0-2 from Youngerman. That one hops out almost into the lefty batter's box. It's 1-2. As Johnson this year hitting a little below his 262 line with 2 outs, only at 225, is hitting 270 with runners in scoring position. 1-2, that one popped into the Bermuda Triangle in the middle of the ballpark. Ortiz calls everyone off, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the top of the second. Baylor gets in the hit column, but they can't quite strike on the board where it matters. 0-0. We head to the bottom of the second. You're listening to the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Stop being friends with people who don't benefit you.
So that man intimidates you that much that you're gonna let him disrespect that entire body of people that support you.
Hey guys!
Welcome back to the Black Print Podcast. My name is Blessing Frazier.
And I'm Serenity Reynolds, and this semester we're officially live on Blaze Radio.
If you're interested in culture, entertainment, college life, or more, then a Black Print is the perfect fit for you.
You can find us weekly on Spotify or live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Bye!
Ciao!
Hi everybody, I'm Ben Paris.
The
looking back door, and Charlie Shane scores! 25-20, 10-5, touchdown Penn State!
Why is airport security so inconsistent? That's the main point of today's episode.
Tune in to the final semester of the Ben Parrish Show Mondays at 10:30 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
It's only fitting that we get brought back from commercial by a song from the band Chicago. I'm joined by Kevin Malater, Mr. Chicago himself. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater here. Bottom of the second, Oklahoma State looking to break the scoreless drought here as they go Brigham, Jones, and Ritchie against Calder.
Yeah, and this is a big spot here for Oklahoma State. This is an offense that has really struggled, but I'm really curious to see if they can capitalize on the momentum from Sean Youngerman, who was able to get out of that jam there in the top half of this frame.
Colin Bregeman, the first baseman, watches a pitch go upstairs. It's 1-0, and he's a guy like Schubert, a big power guy. 14 homers on the season with 51 runs batted in. 1-0 from Calder, just inside Baylor dugout. Wanted a call. They don't get it. 2-0.
It's always tough in these type of environments as well, too, because you hear everything in these neutral site games.
2-0 as Bregeman tried to pull back. It accidentally got part of the middle of the bat, and it's 2-1. It's fouled back.
And there feels to be a lot more interaction between the players with each other as well as with the crowds, too. I mean, earlier in the Cincinnati-Texas Tech game, the Cincinnati dugout, anytime they saw a Cincinnati fan put up on the video board between innings, they were screaming, jumping up and down like they just hit a walk-off homer.
Bregeman lines that one down the left field line foul. It's Reebok, the third baseman in foul ground, who makes the play. One away, and that's a big out for Ethan Calder on the mound.
Really is. If he's able to work through this really tough part with Schubert, Brigham, and Jason Jones, the DH who's strolling up right now, you feel good about how deep he can go into a ball game. He's only thrown 68 innings this year. 68 pitches would be insane. My apologies. 68 innings of work so far. So you're thinking if he can build some confidence here, that was huge. Just last time out, he only went 3 2/3 against UCF on the road.
So Jason Jones, the Arkansas transfer, tries to get the first hit for the Pokes. That one, top of the zone, strike called. Last year, 43 games for the Razorbacks, but the plate was not kind to him. He hit a .195 in those outings in the SEC, and doing better this year at .227 as that one misses outside. It's 1-1.
To be fair to him, most of Arkansas did not hit well last year.
That is very true.
They had their struggles at the plate last season.
They definitely did.
Shout out the Heartbreak Hogs.
1-1 to Jones. Just missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. You're already seeing, like you talked about, these dugouts are locked in. Every player on either side pretty much is at the top step. 2-1 from Calder. That one swung on and fouled back. That'll be a souvenir for either someone in orange or green and gold, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, and we were talking about it before this game. We're walking the concourse a little bit here at Globe Life Field. And we think that this session of the 2 sessions they would have the better of the attendance given the teams playing.
Called strike 3, and Jason Jones didn't like it too much, but nonetheless, it's out number 2 in the second punchy for Calder.
How about backdoor slider to the right-handed hitter from the lefty Calder? 77 on the radar gun. I mean, Castle sets up low and away, and he paints it. I mean, he hit his spot right on the money right there. Good frame from Castle, but he didn't really need it, though. I mean, that found the corner the entire way through. That's a big second out, and a nice job to get your second strikeout by Ethan Calder.
Well, I was about to say, it looked like he hit that outer part of the strike zone on the money and got a little insurance from Castle as Colin Ritchie steps in and watches the first pitch bounce a little bit in front of him. A changeup at 83, it's 1-0. Next offering in there for a strike to the Atoka, Oklahoma native. We mentioned Atoka a little bit last night when we were coming into the tournament. 1-1 pitch, and Ritchie smokes that one to deep right center field. That one will sail way out of here. Colin Ritchie sent that one way out of the ballpark. It's number 10 for him, and Oklahoma State gets their first hit in an emphatic fashion. It's one rip.
He sent that ball back to Atoka. Are you kidding me? That was a bomb. Fastball, middle, and he crushed it, Brendan. I mean, no doubt about it. It was a slider that he hung, and Calder knew it right away, immediately began asking for a new baseball. I mean, that was over the bullpen in the power alley. It's 374 to the bullpen door, and he hit it into the fourth row. I mean, that's going to be close to probably 400 when it's all said and done. That's a shot.
410 officially with a 109 exit velo. That ball was smoked.
I was way off.
As Avery Ortiz, the shortstop, steps in and takes a first pitch strike. So Calder looking to regroup now after giving up the bomb to Colin Ritchie. Ortiz grounds that one to Reebok at third. Tough play, ranging over, fires over to Brzezowski at first, and that'll retire the side, but not before Colin Ritchie deposits one back to Oklahoma, and the Pokes head to the third up 1-0. You're listening to the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
While others are sleeping, we are up breaking down the sports world.
The NBA, NFL, WNBA, MLB, NHL, college basketball, college football, Premier League, UFC, and so much more.
For your weekly sports coverage, tune into the Breakdown After Dark, Thursdays from 10:30 to 11:30 p.m.
Are you an avid moviegoer?
Maybe you just like sitting down with your family and friends to watch a movie.
Then we are the perfect show for you.
We are the Cinesnobs. I'm your host, Ryan Brown, followed by my co-host,
Noah Singson, and from the latest blockbusters to Golden Age classics, we cover it all.
Join us every Friday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. where we cover the latest in film news.
Demon Hours. Demon Hours. Demon Hours. Demon Hours. Demon Hours.
Do you like all things spooky and paranormal?
Join Grace Del Pizzo and Alexandra Zerboard for
Demon Hours
every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Follow us on Twitter at Demon Hours ASU. We'll see you there.
Demon Hours. Demon Hours. Demon Hours. Demon Hours.
Oklahoma State takes a 1-0 lead into inning number 3 after Colin Ritchie got a hold of one and sent it about 50 feet further than the center field position he's currently playing. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater here for our third game of 4 today from the first day of this Big 12 Baseball Championship. For Baylor, it'll be 9-1-2. Cortland Castle, the catcher, the first due up. First offering from Sean Youngerman is outside for a ball as Castle, 37 starts last year for Baylor, hit .273, was an honorable mention in the conference 2 seasons ago. 1-0, that one in there for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, we saw him in the last half inning, really good framing behind the plate. There's not much you can do when his pitcher hangs a slider and it gets crushed, but he's a really solid defensive catcher back there for Baylor as that one's popped foul. And he's kind of your more traditional catcher, bats towards the bottom of the lineup, plus defensive. That's why he's in the lineup card. Mitch Thompson wants a veteran who can command a pitching staff, and that's what Castle provides.
1-2 the count to Castle. That one upstairs as Doherty couldn't quite pull it back into the zone, and the count's even at 2.
It just missed with 91. tried to pull it a little bit too late. I think Doherty actually sets up on the outside corner. I think he probably gets the call.
2-2, that one stays upstairs again. He's hovering in that low 90s, 90, 91, 92, as that one missed. So now the count is run full with nobody out here in the top of the third.
It looks way faster than 91, though.
Payoff pitch is fouled back to the screen. New baseball for the righty.
It really does. Like, I don't know. I know the radar gun is saying he's sitting 89, 90, 91, but out of the hand and based off the swings he's getting, you would think he's pumping 98 and 99.
Especially with the change in speed from the slider. Payoff pitch is just outside. A very good take from Castle. He draws a leadoff walk, and Baylor's got a base runner in back-to-back innings.
Yeah, and that's big. You flip the lineup card over for Apodaca, who hit the ball pretty well in his first at-bat, just like it's been for a lot of these hitters today here at Globe Life Field, right at a defender.
So now on first base, Castle 4 for 7 in the stolen base department. The lineup flips over for Apodaca as a check on Castle at first. He slides back in safely. We talked about the early start. Apodaca got a hold of one, and as you said, it's just right to these outfielders for Oklahoma State. First offering fouled back to the top of the netting, 0-1.
Yeah, this is a Baylor team who knows how to win these tight games, knows how to beat competitive ball clubs as well. 3 ranked wins this season for the Bears.
Another check on Castle at first. He's back in there.
This is a Baylor team, though, that can't fall behind too early because they're going to start pressing. This is a team that needs to win this championship in order to make the NCAA tournament.
Runner off and moving. It's a ground ball to second. Throw to second for one is offline, and it'll go into shallow left field. Making the turn is Castle around third. Relay throw home is not in time as Doherty lost the baseball. And what a costly error that turned out to be, as not only does Castle score, but Apodaca is into third.
Huge. Huge for Baylor. Obviously, you tie up the game, but heads up base running, though, from Cortland Castle. It's a ground ball to the right side. Smith fields it well. They try to turn two and just simply throws it away. If you're going to miss, you want to miss glove side on the turn two. You don't want to miss hand side. And he missed to Ortiz's bare hand side, not his glove side. And he just threw it away down the left field line. And because of Castle's awareness, the third baseman Thompson had to go get that baseball, which left third base unoccupied. The pitcher went up to cover, and it was off to the races from there.
So Travis Sanders stands in, takes the first pitch strike, and that changes the game. It's now 1-1, nobody out, and a runner at third off the E4 that advances Apodaca to third. That one just missed inside. And now if you're Sean Youngerman, you got to respond on the mound after you got the ground ball you wanted.
And you feel for him because there's your double play ball right there to clean up the leadoff walk.
1-1, fouled back down the first base line, and it's 1-2.
Like you always saw as a pitcher, hey, if you walk the leadoff man, try to help yourself out a little bit and, get that double play ball to clean up. He did. He had it right there, and Smith just threw it away. And you feel bad for Youngerman, who did his job there in terms of executing the pitch to where he needed to be to get a double play ball.
1-2 offering just missed outside. That evens the count. Oklahoma State, 1-2 out of 3 in Waco just about a week and a half ago. They lead the all-time series 59-45. As the 2-2 is bounced inside to Travis Sanders, and that runs the count full here with nobody out and a runner on third.
Crazy. Crazy how fast this game has turned and changed in favor of Baylor in terms of the momentum and the life they're getting.
Leading away from third is Apodaca. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. A big response from Sean Youngerman. He gets a much-needed strikeout, and there's one away.
Yeah, definitely needed that right there. Here's what you want to get an out, especially after that fielder's choice that allowed Apodaca to reach and advance all the way to third. And that's one of those instances where as a pitcher, you're just so mad at yourself and you're mad at your teammate, but you're never going to let your teammate know that you're mad at him, that you just say, all right, I'm just going to do this one myself, and then I'll trust you guys eventually again. It's a real thought process, too.
Tyreek Kemp, the shortstop, popped out to third last go-around. First offering is a changeup in the dirt that is blocked by Doherty. 1-0 the count.
And if you are Doherty back there, have to keep everything in front of you. Apodaca is too fast. Any ball that gets away, he's breaking for home.
1-0. Framed, but doesn't get the call on the outer third, so it's 2-0 now for Kemp, who definitely is a speedster himself.
Did you see Kemp just kind of dance in the batter's box there? Did you see that? Like, it looked like he was trying to fall over but lean into it at the same time. It was weird.
Kemp dribbles that one back up the middle. Ortiz from short doesn't have the throw home, so he fires to Bregman at first to get the out. But it's an RBI 6-3, and that gives Baylor a 2-1 lead.
Talk about doing a job. Tyreek Kemp right there does a job for Baylor. Little ground ball off the end of the bat. The pitcher, Youngerman, didn't even want to try to make a play on that ball. I think if he tries to glove it or at least knock it down, Apodaca stays at third because he was really hesitant. He wanted to make sure that ball was going to first before he took off for the plate.
Wesley Jordan, a big swing and a miss through the first pitch. It's 0-1. And now if you're Youngerman, you can get out of this with one more pitch. A half-hearted swing. Did he go around, appeal down? They say he did, according to Seth Buckminster down there at first. So now a strike away from getting out of this, and it's only a 2-1 game. 0-2. That one, a throwaway pitch trying to get him to chase the slider, 1-2.
Yeah, and I don't hate the sequencing here. Jordan had that deep fly out to center field, if you remember, an inning ago. One of those balls where I think we were playing in Waco or Stillwater is gone for a home run.
1-2, Jordan smokes that one right back up the middle, and it's another two-out base hit for the Bears as he keeps the train moving, and the third baseman, Pearson Reebok, will get another AB.
Believe it or not, that's the first hit of the inning for Baylor. Despite already 2 runs scoring here in the frame. There's a hard hit single right back where it came from. That's textbook right there from Wesley Jordan. No notes, 10 out of 10.
So Pearson Reebok, who's hitting just a tad under 400 on the year in two-out scenario, steps in. Pickoff attempt back over to first. Jordan's back in there safely. Not really a stolen base threat. He has stolen 3 bags in 4 attempts, but more of a power guy than a speedster. Thompson even with third as Reebok swings and misses through a fastball at 90. It's 0-1. The crowd really has filled in for these two sides. A lot of orange and a lot of green. 0-1, another big swing and miss. And that does, like you said, look a lot faster than something in the low 90s is. Those are hardy hacks. It's 0-2.
Yeah, it's because they're getting those hardy hacks because he's finally throwing something straight because there's so much movement on all of his other pitches.
Youngerman, before the 0-2, will snap throw over to Bregman at first, and Jordan is back in there safely. Oh, 0-2 the count with 2 away. Here it comes. Big swing and a miss and Sean Youngerman responds with a big strikeout, but the Baylor Bears do their job. They take a 2-1 lead on just one hit in the inning. As we head to the bottom of the third, Pokes look to answer. You're listening to the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Coming in at number 3 on the MLB Top 10 hitters list from last season, I got Bobby Witt Jr.
Whoa, hold on, what? How do you have Bobby Witt Jr. over Freddie Freeman?
Because Bobby Witt Jr. just led the majors in hits and batting average.
Well, I bet Freddie Freeman can't get his team in the playoffs and perform better in the postseason.
But he just did. But let's keep debating on this on the Diamond Debate Show every Monday on Blaze Radio from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Ever wondered what the difference between a virus and bacteria is? Or how cancers are classified? Maybe you're interested in how the flu has influenced the world since the dawn of humanity. You can find out about all of this and more on Disease Dissected. My name is Paige McKenna, and every Sunday at 4 p.m. I'll be covering a new disease. The causes, symptoms, treatments, historical significance, and classification. Whether you're a future medical professional or just somebody interested in disease, Disease Dissected is the radio show for you. Listen live on Sundays at 4 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Now that I have your attention, do you like music? Do you like movies? Do you like weird stuff on the internet? Then we have just the show for you. My name's Alex.
My name's Dane.
And we're the hosts of the DNA podcast.
So if you like everything from new and old music to debates on the greatest breakfast foods of all time, join us every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on blazeradio.com.
We can't wait to see your beautiful faces, metaphorically speaking, because we can't see you.
Back here, a quick inning break, and now we're ready for the bottom of the third. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater as Alex Conover, the left fielder, stands in. Shift on as Kemp, the shortstop, is playing even with the bag at second. Conover lines one over to Brzezowski, the first baseman, and he'll do the hard work and take it to first base himself for the out.
To quote Brendan Paul, ladies and gentlemen, that is 3 unassisted right there. Hard hit ball yet again off the bat of a poke hitter this afternoon. But just right at a Bear. That's how the game of baseball works sometimes. Nothing you can do about that there if you're Alex Conover.
It's kind of like what Arizona State did in the first game.
Really was.
They had a lot of hard hit balls, but just didn't leave the yard and just hit right at guys in the outfield from BYU. As Brock Thompson stands in and takes a first pitch strike, a changeup at 87.
Big thing here for Calder.
Thompson, another swing and a miss there, so he's quickly behind 0-2.
Big thing here for Calder, though, if you can get Thompson here, it's an opportunity to just minimize the damage before you have to face the top of the order again.
0-2, that one goes right between the wickets of Carlin Castle, the Baylor backstop. Or Cortland Castle, I should say. Thompson, a freshman from Bakersfield, California. 1-2. Swung on and tipped foul. Back to the backstop, so we'll do it again.
Good fight. Really good fight.
Brock Thompson's dad, no stranger to playing in Oklahoma. Played at Oklahoma City University and was the 1994 NIA Player of the Year. As Thompson stays alive here, a good battle. That one fouled down the first base line.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you want from your bottom of your order guys here. If you're Holiday and the Pokes, you want them fighting. You want them working the pitch count. Calder only 30 pitches so far through 2 1/3. He's been really efficient thus far.
Only 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. As that one in there for a called third strike. And Brock Thompson is sat down staring as that's the second out of the inning.
Front door curveball to a lefty and a long plate appearance is a bold strategy. Caught it, and boy, did it pay off. Thompson clearly sitting fastball, saw the break, took it, hoped it was going to be upstairs, and it dropped off the table and into the zone. That's a big punch hit right there for Caller. Way to win the battle.
That's a dangerous pitch, as they were showing on the in-house replay. It's back to the top of the order. Go the Pokes and Braden Smith as he check swings on a called strike. It's 0-1. 74 degrees inside Globe Life Field, 88 outside with 20% humidity. As that one also finds its way into the zone, 0-2. That humidity does not mess around in Texas.
No, it doesn't. It gets to you. It gets to you. And obviously next year they're moving this tournament outdoors into non-humid heat.
0-2 upstairs, 1-2 as the conference announced that Surprise Stadium in Arizona will be at least next year's site for the Big 12 Baseball Championship.
That should be fun.
A different kind of heat indeed.
Yeah.
1-2, swung on and missed. Ethan Calder goes 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts and puts another 0 on the board for the Pokes. We head to the top of inning number 4. Baylor, a 2-1 lead here in Arlington on Blaze Radio.
What's up, everyone? It's Natalia Marin with Season 2 of Does It Work? Life is still very confusing, so I've decided to continue answering some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? We have fun conversations featuring my hours of research evaluating if cultural phenomena, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Thursday at 9 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com to see if it works.
Are you looking for a weekly recap on what happened in the wild world of sports every single week? Well, tune in Tuesdays at noon to East Coast Bias. In our 4th year here on Blaze Radio, tune in to hear all sports, not just baseball, basketball, hockey, and football, but everything from around the globe that includes a ball or a puck. Hosted by yours truly, Dylan Pescator, Tuesdays at noon, East Coast Bias.
Every True Crime Tuesday, your hosts, Alyssa Rea, Franco Mitre, and Angel Garcia will be taking you inside of the evidence room to take a closer look into some of Arizona's most notorious true crime cases. Join us for a new disturbing case each week as we go over facts and discuss our own thoughts about the cases in chilling detail. You won't want to miss an episode of the evidence room every Tuesday from 10:30 to 11 p.m. only on blazeradio.com.
We're officially through 1/3 of this game, and the Baylor Bears hope the last 2/3 go as well as the first third did, as they lead 2-1 here in Arlington, Texas. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater. Hunter Simmons, who had a double back in the second, stands in and takes a first pitch strike, as it was called a strike on appeal down to third at Chris Koski. Sean Youngerman set 0-1. That one a changeup that hopped in front of Doherty and found its way dribbling back to the backstop. 1-1.
And how much one errant throw can change an entire ball game, right? I mean, it felt like
big swing and a miss from Simmons. 1-2.
It felt like even though it was only 1-0, with the energy on that side of the ballpark, it felt like it became the Pokes game to lose. And all of a sudden, Shaggy, here comes the Baylor Bears.
1-2, another swing and a miss. It's a strikeout for Hunter Simmons. So Sean Youngerman pumping right along. That's strikeout number 4.
And consecutive strikeouts as well for him. He goes with that slider to the right-handed hitting DH and just fooled him. Got him out in front. And it was a pitch that wasn't really located well either, I should say. He just kind of left it over the heart of the plate, and Simmons was late on it.
So Simmons is sat down. Gavin Brzozowski, the first baseman, steps in. Reach on a walk back in the second, his first time up. Youngerman set. First offering, a big hack and a swing and a miss, 0-1.
Yeah, he wanted to destroy that ball with that swing. Feel the wind up here.
That one outside, 1-1. He wanted to top what Colin Ritchie did in the bottom of the second. But now we'll have to shorten the approach a little bit. 1-1. Gets a hold of that one out to deep center field. Ritchie ranging back. He's in time to make the play. So that one was given a ride, but Colin Ritchie is there to record the second out.
Yeah, and Colin Ritchie tracked that ball down. Really made it look easy, actually, getting out there in center field. That ball had a lot of late carry on it, as they're showing the replays up on the big boards here at Globe Life Field. And first step was not only back, but was on an angle, which allowed him to kind of cut that ball off in the alleyway and make a nice catch.
Now Ty Johnson, the center fielder, back in. Big swing and a miss through a fastball at 91. No balls, 1 strike. Youngerman, a sub-2 ERA, down at 1.93 in 51 1/3 innings pitched. Johnson squares the bunt. That one stays inside, and it's a 1-1 count. Johnson, .222 this season when hitting with 2 outs. Squares the bunt again and gets it down the first base line, but that'll trickle just foul. Brigham was up to play it. It might have been a scary collision if it stayed fair, but nonetheless, it's 1-2.
And especially with Johnson's speed, he's really quick out of the box. Naturally, lefties always tougher to get out on those close plays at first, but you take a lefty who has got speed and good luck. And like you said, it looked like it was going to be 2 freight trains coming down the tracks at the same time, trying to face each other head on. Had that ball stayed fair, like you said.
Youngerman trying to go 1-2-3. He's worked a 1-2 count here to Johnson. Here comes the pitch. That one fouled back. Johnson trying to prolong the AB as Youngerman has just reached 65 pitches.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you can see just how much the speed just gets onto them quickly, and they're not ready for it.
Youngerman will try the 1-2 again, and this time getting a piece is Johnson. It's over the head of Braden Smith at second base, and he's got a 2-out knock, so a good piece of hitting there as Ty Johnson is aboard with 2 outs.
And that's why Ty Johnson, when he came up with 2 runners on, is so dangerous, because he can do that right there. I mean, that's a slider that just catches enough of the bottom half of the zone, which gives Johnson enough space to be able to deposit that ball into right field. If Youngerman finishes that ball down a little bit more, I don't think Johnson gets a piece of it. Just caught enough of the zone into which the Baylor center fielder can get his bat on it and work a 2-out single.
So now Cortland Castle, the backstop, will try and make something of it. But first, throw over to Ty Johnson at first, and this is the guy you're concerned about stealing a base. Leads all Baylor hitters in the lineup with 11. 11 for 12, that is, so he does it at a high rate. That one fouled back to Castle, the catcher, who is 0 for 0 officially with a walk in the third, came around to score.
Yeah, and he was the runner headed towards second base that, I guess you could say, inadvertently caused the double play. The error on the double play ball. I don't know how you describe that, really.
Another check on Johnson at first. He's back in safely. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Baylor, and it's 1s across the board for Oklahoma State. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, as we're just about at 5:30 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. And a big swing and a miss there from Castle, and he's behind 0-2.
If I'm Youngerman now, I'm ignoring Johnson. I know Johnson, 11 stolen bases on 12 attempts this season, so really good on the base paths, but you're a strike away from getting out of this. You don't want to worry about the base runner too much here. Focus on the hitter.
And contrary to your advice, a pickoff attempt right on cue, so Obviously, Youngerman having a little doubt in the back of the mind.
You have 2 strikes, though, on the number 9 hole hitter. If you mess around too long.
There goes Johnson, a swing and a miss. So just like that, he fires a fastball past Castle. He gets the strikeout, and the runner does not matter as we head to the bottom of inning number 4. Oklahoma State trails 2-1. You're listening to the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Are you looking for a weekly recap on what happened in the wild world of sports every single week? Well, tune in Tuesdays at noon to East Coast Bias. In our 4th year here on Blaze Radio, tune in to hear all sports, not just baseball, basketball, hockey, and football, but everything from around the globe that includes a ball or a puck. Hosted by yours truly, Dylan Pescator, Tuesdays at noon, East Coast Bias.
Every True Crime Tuesday, your hosts, Alyssa Rea, Franco Mitre, and Angel Garcia will be taking you inside of the evidence room to take a closer look into some of Arizona's most notorious true crime cases. Join us for a new disturbing case each week as we go over facts and discuss our own thoughts about the cases in chilling detail. You won't want to miss an episode of the Evidence Room every Tuesday from 10:30 to 11 p.m. only on blazeradio.com.
Oh my gosh, I finally get the fangirl way.
Oh my gosh, yes. You know what you should do?
What should I do, Timber?
You should watch the
Fangirl Forum! When should I watch it?
Well, Jazzy, the Fangirl Forum just so happens to be on blazeradioonline.com every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Wait, do I co-host with you?
Heck yeah, you do.
Channel your inner fangirl.
Oklahoma State looking to get something going here in the 4th. They'll have 2, 3, 4 due up, and these are the guys that can do it. Ian Doherty, Nolan Schubert, and Colin Bregeman for Oklahoma State to face Ethan Calder for their 2nd time. Brendan Paul alongside Kevin Malater, enjoying the beautiful breeze and atmosphere in one of the newest Major League Baseball ballparks. First offering to Ian Doherty is inside for a ball, 1-0.
By breeze, we're referring to the air conditioning vents that are hanging over us here in the ballpark.
Right over us, and it feels so nice.
Feels great.
1-0, that one chopped a dribbler. Foul on the dirt just past the batter's box, so it'll be a 1-1 count.
Can we get this at Muni?
Oh man, yeah. That could be that would be a big addition.
Put a roof on Muni? Get that going on social media?
Hashtag roof Muni. 1-1 to Doherty. Big swing from the catcher into right center field. Ranging over is the right fielder Apodaca, and he makes the catch. So an unfortunate break for Oklahoma State as that ball was hit very well, but right at Apodaca.
And that right there is just another tough break for Oklahoma State. I mean, that ball was hit on the nose to right center field. Great contact, fastball down and away. Doherty barreled it up, I should say. And instead is a long and loud first out.
So Nolan Schubert steps in, looking for home run number 18. That one downstairs for a ball. He's always a threat to do something as the junior from Durand, Michigan. Starting to see some purple and red into the crowd as that one framed up, but no strike call. 2-0 as the final game of night 1 features the Kansas State Wildcats, the 6th seed, and the 11th-seeded Houston Cougars, with the winner facing the 3-seed TCU Horned Frogs tomorrow night. 2-0 on a half-hearted swing is in there for a strike. 2-1. Winner of this one gets the 2nd-seeded Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, we talked about it off air, a little bit about it early in the broadcast, but this was the session in which we felt the attendance was going to be higher. Obviously, you get 2 Texas teams involved.
Schubert sends that one on a line to deep left field. Going back is Jordan. It's gone! Nolan Schubert. No, they say it stays in the park. And Josh Holliday is already out of the dugout. They're going to look at that. I thought for sure it was gone.
I thought it was too. I thought that one got over the yellow tape. Over the 372 sign. It's slicing away into that corner. Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
So right now it's listed as a double, as Schubert still was going with pretty good pace around the bases. He wasn't doing a slow trot or anything, and now Doug Williams is gonna gather this crew. They're gonna have a chat, as we all thought up here on first glance it was gone. Maybe we'll see something with the in-house replay that changes our mind.
Exactly. I thought that ball, I mean, first glance when we were watching live, I thought that ball was gone. They're showing the replay on the TV broadcast. That hits the yellow tape and does not go over, according to at least on the angle they're showing on the TV broadcast. That ball hits the yellow tape, which is not a home run. It's got to get over the yellow tape.
If that's what stands, he missed a home run by mere centimeters.
They're showing it down. They're slowing it down.
Oh, my goodness.
It hits the very top part of the tape and does not go over. So this is going to be a double here for Schubert.
You could not get any closer to missing a homer than that. That one at 372. That one went 371.99999 repeating.
That's one of those balls in which if that's your grade in a class, you're begging your professor to round it up for you.
Exactly. And Josh Holliday's hoping that his squad will get that little round up.
Nah, it's a strict professor. He's not getting it here. Based off the angles they're showing on TV.
We'll see if they stick with what we saw on the television broadcast, because that does give a pretty good shot down the line.
That's a great shot from the ESPN crew here working this Big 12 championship as the umpires have a decision. Well, they confirm the call. It's a double.
So Doug Williams, or actually that was Chris Koski at third who issued the call. So Nolan Schubert with one of the longest doubles you'll see in this tournament, as he'll be at second base with one out. We thought it was gone, but it's on top of the yellow tape, but doesn't go over. Has to go over the yellow tape to be a homer.
Tough break for Nolan Schubert, my goodness.
So now here's Colin Bregeman. First offering to him is a curveball in there for strike one.
And if you're Ethan Calder, you're thanking the heavens. You got a gift from the baseball gods there, and now you can't mess around with it. Try to take advantage.
0-1. Brigham in a big swing and a miss. He tipped it into the glove, and it's 0-2.
All of a sudden, since that, it's weird because as a pitcher, you hate giving up a hit, but Calder looks like he has more energy since the review. Confirmed it was a double.
0-2, that one down and out. That was a slider, tried to get Bregeman to chase outside. He does not. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Schubert at second, 1 away here in the bottom of the fourth. Baylor leads 2-1. 1-2, Bregeman fouls it over the netting. That one will make its way into the second row as Calder nearing the 50 pitch mark here tonight in the fourth inning. Schubert has a couple of stolen bases this year. Probably wouldn't expect him to go as Bregeman lays back and evens the count at 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be running him here if I'm the Pokes. I keep him there at second base. You have the middle of your order up right now. It just doesn't seem like a worthy risk at this point.
And now we're going to get a meeting out on the pitcher's mound with Cortland Castle. And it looks like maybe Zach Dillon, the assistant coach for Baylor, out there. Just going to have a quick chat as they want to be sure that Calder's mind is right for a 2-2 count with the tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, and I like the reset here. I mean, Calder's in a really good spot. He's still only thrown 47 pitches. He's in a really good spot here if you're a Baylor fan listening here at home. The big thing is he's missed arm side a couple of times, and with a lefty, you can't really miss arm side because you run the risk then of hitting a left-handed hitter.
2-2 to Brigham on the way from Calder. Schubert at second. Here it comes. That one inside, and from 0-2 to 3-2, the counts run full, and some life for this middle part of the order for Oklahoma State. On deck is the DH, Jason Jones. Payoff pitch. That one outside, and Brigham draws a walk, a prolonged one at that. 2 runners aboard.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a great at-bat there from Brigham. Falls behind, laid off a couple of really good sliders there from Calder throughout that AB. Now you bring up Jason Jones, who I guarantee is looking for revenge after that looking strikeout back in the second.
So Jones was sat down looking. His first time up at the plate. As now Schubert stands from second. Brigham from first. First offering to Jones is outside for a ball. There is one arm in the Oklahoma State bullpen that is stretching and doing some preliminary tossing. No one in right center field wearing green and gold. 1-0's outside, 2-0.
Yeah, and right now, I'm Mitch Thompson. I'm starting to get some arms stretching at least, just to be safe here.
2-0. That one fouled back to the backstop by Jones.
Because for most of these lower seeds, going to BYU today, we got Baylor now, you'll see Houston here in a little bit. Their only path to the field of 64 is by winning this tournament. So there's a little bit different management styles that you have to go with.
2-1 in there for a strike. That evens things up. And before the games, they have fans vote on who they think is going to win the game on the Big 12 Conference social media. Oklahoma State, 72% favorite in this one. That does not bode well for the Pokes. The social media picks are 0-2 today. 2-2, outside, full count.
And it was funny because they had Texas Tech beating Cincinnati. It wasn't particularly close if I'm remembering correctly. It ended up being a close Cincinnati win. And we were all like, wow, that vote should be a lot closer than it should.
That ball smoked by Jones out to right field. Running back is Apodaca near the warning track, makes the catch. Tagging from second is Schubert, and he's into third safely, so that puts runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, productive AB. Another fly out to right field in this frame. Going back, though, to wrap up our point about the polls, though. That one, the Tech-Cincinnati game, we saw the poll. I'm like, man, that probably should have been closer than it actually was. And then you have the ASU BYU poll where the collective from everyone in the building was wow, like that should be a lot further apart than it should be. That ASU is the favorite, but a slim favorite, and BYU pulls off the upset of ASU.
45% had that on their bingo card of BYU winning this morning. Colin Ritchie, who's already got a homer, stands in and takes a first pitch strike, a curveball at 75. It's 0-1.
Of the 45%, how much of that do you think are disgruntled ASU fans before the game?
Yeah, there may have been a few in there, I bet. 0-1. Big swing from Ritchie, but that one will hang up to the deep part of center field as Ty Johnson camps under it. And a big sigh of relief for Ethan Calder as he strands 2 runners on, and the Baylor faithful showing their appreciation for what he's done through 4 innings. We head to the 5th. 2-1 Baylor. You're listening to the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Even though it's the NFL offseason, that doesn't mean that the fantasy football world stops spinning.
So we've got you covered here at the Fantasy Football Forecast on Blaze Radio.
I'm Jacob Brooks, that's Isaac Robertson, and the two of us will have you covered with all of our fantasy analysis from free agency, the draft, and more.
We'll have a ton of different rankings and fantasy takeaways to break down for you, so you aren't going to miss out.
So be sure to tune in to the Fantasy Football Forecast Wednesday nights from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Arizona time on Blaze Radio.
Have you heard the news? Flopstar is back for a 4th season. If you are interested in movie and TV reviews, music reviews, sports talk, or other associated fun things and complaints, consider listening to Flopstar here on Blaze Radio on blazeradioonline.com every Monday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m.
Top of the 5th, just about ready to get going here from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, where Blaze Radio will bring you coverage from this beautiful suburb of Dallas for the second time this academic year. Boded pretty well for the Sun Devils back in December with a 45-19 win in the Big 12 football championship. Didn't bode too well for them earlier today.
Yeah.
They lost 2-0 to BYU, the 12 seed. As Enzo Apodaca stands in and watches the first one skip into the catcher's mitt of Doherty for a ball. It's 1-0.
That's the big shocker. And there's a lot of national beat writers of college baseball.
Apodaca sends that one on a line to right field. It'll get past Schubert. Apodaca takes the turn. This speedster is into second with a standing double. And what a start for the Baylor Bears in the 5th.
Well, that's a fastball. And to quote everyone's favorite character on Sesame Street, that's a cookie right there. Right down the middle. And it was smoked. 104 off the bat. 305.6 feet to that right field corner. That's big. That's the leadoff man. And I think Josh Holiday's going to have the corners come play in here with Travis Sanders at the dish.
He is indeed. As it'll be Thompson playing in from the third base bag and Bregman in from first. As that one's lined into right center field, it'll drop in front of Schubert for a base hit. They'll hold Apodaca at third. Back-to-back knocks for Baylor as Travis Sanders is on first, and now runners at the corners for Baylor.
Yeah, and Apodaca had to hold up there. That was a line drive where he broke for third as soon as it was hit and then hung up because Schubert, the right fielder, made a good charge onto it. So we had to hesitate because otherwise then you worry about the back pick there at second base. So it's a very easy hold there and decision to hold Apodaca at third base on that little flare out to right center field. And now here's the always dangerous Tyreek Kemp.
Kemp 0 for 2, but does have an RBI. Could do what he did back in the third, just ground out and drive in a run as watches one downstairs for a ball at 81.
If I'm Sanders, I'm breaking for second here.
And they apparently are locked into your logic because they pick over to first just to make sure that he doesn't do it. 7 for 10 is Travis Sanders on stolen bases so far this season. Apodaca's 3 for 5. That one framed up nicely for a strike. That evens things at 1-1. Action in the Oklahoma State bullpen as a righty begins to toe the rubber and get going. Youngerman trying to get out of a pickle. That one popped sky high into right field. Schubert camping. Will they tag Apodaca? He makes the catch. They do. The throw in is on a line, but it's up the line, and it's a sac fly for Kemp, and make it 3-1 Baylor here in the top of the 5th.
second great at-bat from Tyreek Kemp in this ball game. It's another productive one as well as he drives in a crucial insurance run here for the Baylor Bears. Fastball left up in the zone, and Kemp just got underneath it, but it's deep enough to get an Apodaca from third.
And now Rob Walton and the entire infield will make the slow trot to the pitcher's mound as they'll have a chat here with Sean Youngerman, the righty. And that wasn't an awful throw from Schubert. It was just a little up the line, and Apodaca's a speedster. It's going to be tough to beat him regardless.
And usually those throws that are up the line either way are because the outfielder is rushing through the motions because of the speediness of the runner, breaking it for either second to third to home, etc., whatever it might be. Because of the speed elements of it, you rush your throw and you rush through the motion. I believe they're going to make a move here, Oklahoma State is.
Looks like they are. So the day is done for Sean Youngerman. We'll meet the new pitcher after this break. You're listening to the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Tune in to Friday Night Lights camera action to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of Hollywood's most iconic
There's no crying in baseball!
and most infamous sports movies.
Ain't no rules to the dog can't play basketball.
So what are you waiting for?
Yo, Adrian!
Peace out.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Find out if your favorite sports movie is a hit
Or a flop.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl?
Listen live on Fridays at 8 p.m. Arizona time on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Now go out there and take it. This is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
Welcome to your favorite show where everything is untitled, unscripted, and unhinged.
Us Podsmiths and Yes Podsmiths are what professional podcasters are called. Let's just say we're your favorite Podsmiths. Favorite Podsmiths.
On our show, we discuss a variety of different topics and segments, from the latest news to your favorite tunes.
And it's not just us. Every week we bring in a special guest to shake things up.
So join me, CJ Stevenson,
And me, Kate Nakamura, every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty. And I'm Brooklyn Cohen. And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As two former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
New pitcher on for Oklahoma State is the righty junior Mario Pesca out of the Bronx, New York. Stands at a towering 6'8". The transfer from St. John's, 6-6 with a 4.35 ERA over his last two seasons. And the first thing he does is pick back over to first, where Travis Sanders is back in safely. So he'll inherit a base runner on. That Youngerman has left. Pesca, another snap throw back to first. As the final line, or the semifinal line for Youngerman, 4 1/3, allows 5 hits, strikes out 5, and walks 2. He's still on the hook for Sanders at first. And another snap throw over to check on Sanders, so that's 3 in a row. No rule against that at this level. Obviously, that's a different story in the MLB.
Big question is, will he throw a pitch?
Maybe right here. 4th time being the charm. No, it is not. Another snap throw over, and now we hear some boos.
Well, while I have a moment, Pesca last worked on May 16th at home against Arizona State. 5 innings of work, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits, struck out 3, walked 2 as he checks on the runner again.
So that's 5 in a row. And there are a lot of folks wearing green and gold that are getting very, very restless. Pretty good lead from Sanders off first. They finally throw a pitch. It's the first one from Pesca, and it misses inside for a ball. So 6 times the ball has left Pesca's hand, and only 1 has been to the batter.
And if I'm Sanders, I was totally going for second base to troll him. Totally would have done that.
He might be on the move here. Big lead. Doesn't quite go. That one top of the zone for a strike. The count even at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, and if you're Wesley Jordan, don't try to force anything. Singles last time up. Just focus on trying to do a job right now with only 1 out.
Double play in order for Pesca. Another check, and that one was actually close, but Sanders is back in there safe.
Yeah, he was leaning towards second base and kind of got caught flat-footed there off the bag at first base. Just got his right hand in there to the back left corner of the bag at first to save himself, as Doherty is going to go out to talk to Mario Pesca.
He's probably saying, if you're going to have me crouching this whole time, you might as well throw me the ball. They are getting a little closer to getting Sanders, but they're 0 for 6 in this AB, and Wesley Jordan maybe throwing his timing off a little bit as he's only seen 2 pitches. He might be getting a little restless. Another throwback over to first. And there is a lot of chatter downstairs that you are probably hearing at home from the Nat mics. Pitch is home. It's another one at the top of the zone for another called strike at 1 and 2.
The worst feeling as a hitter is when you have a pitcher who keeps doing this. Finally throws you a pitch, and it's on the outside corner and gets called a strike.
One-two home. That one upstairs. Doherty tried to frame it up, didn't get the call. We're even at 2 and 2.
Because then as a hitter, you're just looking at the umpire like, man, why are you rewarding him?
Pesca, the 6'8 righty. 2-2 runner off and moving a strike 3 called. The throw is into center field. A wild one from Doherty, and Travis Sanders will stand at third base. It's the second error of the ball game for Oklahoma State. Pesca does get the strikeout, but Baylor has a runner at third.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what? Give Wesley Jordan an advancement there. Swung on a pitch that was nowhere near the strike zone, but ultimately does his job. Runner advances to second, and then obviously bad throw from Doherty behind home plate.
So now Pearson Reebok will try and drive him in. First offering is high and outside for a ball.
Stolen base E2, by the way, for those who are scoring at home.
Stole second on his own, got to third with the help of Doherty. 1-0. In there for a strike. That one at 89, a sinker.
Help from Doherty is a nice way of putting it. Doherty threw that ball. He tried to throw it probably to the Baylor bullpen if he had his way.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Sanders leading off a third. That one chopped foul right in front of the catcher, Doherty, and now a strike away from Pesca coming in and doing a little damage control for Oklahoma State.
How big would this be to get a 0 here? Or 0 after the one has scored, I should say.
It would be massive in changing this game, or well, in keeping it only a 2-run game. That's still, as we've seen earlier, and now Travis Sanders breaking for the plate as that one's chopped over to Thompson at third, fires on a sidearm over to Bregeman, and he makes the play for the third out. We will head to the bottom of inning number 5. Baylor leads 3-1, and Kevin Malater will take you the rest of the way home here. You're listening to the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Do you ever wonder what the backstory is behind some of your favorite songs? Where do artists get their inspiration from? Hi, my name is Nicole Lahendro.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen, and welcome to Inspired. On Inspired, we will be sharing some of the fun facts behind the famous songs you know and love.
Tune into Inspired on Blaze Radio every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Arizona time as we break down the inspiration behind the iconic tracks.
Get inspired!
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello.
With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment.
Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Baylor leading a close one here to the last of inning number 5 we go. 3-1 Bears on top of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Pokes. Captain Malater and Brendan Paul with you here for Blaze Radio in Game 3 of our quadruple header on the opening day of the 2025 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. And Baylor had an opportunity to get a couple more in the top half of this frame, but Mario Pesca did a nice job, Brendan, getting out of that jam and just limiting the damage to 1.
That was a big outing for him coming in this 5th. Doing damage control and turning it over to the bats, which need to wake up a little bit if you're an Oklahoma State fan, as only 2 hits in the ballgame so far through 4.
One of them came in inning ago. Avery Ortiz steps in. The shortstop takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. A slider at 75. Ortiz grounded out to third to end the second inning, his only time up. Calder still out there, the 0-1. Fastball misses. Arm side. Evens it out. Calder has thrown 59 pitches, 38 strikes. 1-1. Tipped in and out of the middle of the catcher's glove in Castle. Either way, though, it's strike 2. Winner of this game gets the 2nd seed. The Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow at the 4 o'clock Central Time slot. 1-2, cut on and miss. Strike 3. Slider down and away, backdoor to Ortiz, who just fanned on it. And there's the big out. 4th or 5th strikeout, I beg your pardon, now here for Ethan Calder of Baylor.
And that's a beautiful setup and sequence there. Avery Ortiz is a guy that doesn't often get fooled like that, but Calder with a nice pitch there. You talk about the winner getting the Jayhawks. What a job Dan Fitzgerald has done with that program.
Program record for most wins in a season this year. It's only year 3. They started out, by the way, that Kansas team 17-3, which is their best 20-game start in history. The 1-0 pitch. Here's a fastball in the outside corner. First strike to Alex Conover, 0 for 1 with a unassisted ground out to the first baseman Brzezowski back in the 3rd inning. Calder out of the stretch, the 1-1. Tapped right behind home plate, and Castle pounces on it, but Doug Williams waves it foul. Another 2-strike count here for a Cowboy hitter. And that's been the biggest Achilles heel of this team for Josh Halliday in year 13, the offense. They just can't seem to find ways to get on base via a hit this year. 1-2. Fastball right high and away from the left-handed hitting left fielder of OK State. Cowboys enter the Big 12 championship last in the Big 12 in average total hits and runs scored. 2-2. Swinging a pop-up third base side out of play. And mind you, runs scored, they're tied for 13th with Utah, but when you're tied for 13th in the Big 12 in baseball, you are tied for last place. Only 325 runs scored in the regular season entering play tonight. Calder out of the stretch, a 2-2 again. Swinging a fly ball, slicing to left field. Jordan squares up, makes the catch and straightaway left for out number 2.
That's about as routine as it gets right there for Jordan. One left fielder flying out to the other, and now some action in the Baylor bullpen. There was for a minute. It looked like Grayson Murray, junior right-hander, so be interested rather to see how much longer they opt to ride with Ethan Calder.
Only 67 pitches thus far. Brock Thompson stands in, first pitch. Fastball in the inside corner, called strike. Thompson struck out looking in the 3rd inning. It was a frame in which Calder faced the minimum, his only frame doing that so far, highlighted by 2 Ks, the 0-1. Swinging a tapper up along the first base line. It takes a turn foul, and it's quickly 0-2.
And it's been Calder who's gotten ahead in a lot of these at-bats here as of late. First pitch strikes are so important in at-bats for the pitcher to get ahead.
2-strike pitch. Swinging a ground ball off the end of the bat to the shortstop, Kemp. He gloves and fires to first. It's in plenty of time for a 3-up, 3-down inning. Ethan Calder cruising through 5 innings of 1-run baseball. And through that margin, it's 3-1, Baylor on top. To the 6th inning we go. This is the Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Hey, do you like banger tunes? And do you like banger tunes from a wide eclectic range of genres? Well, if you said yes to either of those questions, tune in to the JFU Show every Sunday morning from 10 to 11 right here on Blaze Radio, streaming exclusively blazeradioonline.com. I'm Jack Footer, aka JFU, and each week on the JFU Show, we'll play you great tunes to get your Sunday fun day rolling and for you to crush the upcoming week. It's the JFU Show right here on Blaze Radio.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like, what's your take though? Yeah, he's cool, but Heisman? That team don't got nobody on there who could shoot any type of threes. I'm supposed to believe they're a playoff team? You're not answering the question. The question is, who is the better football team right now? Hey, I like that take right there. There's no midfielder as naturally talented as him in the last 20 years. Tune in to Let's Talk Takes every week, hosted by me, Devin Henderson, where I bring in different guests each week and we debate the most pressing topics in a variety of sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. We even gonna talk about some soccer. Tune in every week, Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. right here on blazeradioonline.com.
We enter the 6th inning, and the final third of this baseball game is quickly approaching. It's 3-1 Baylor, our score here in Game 3 of the opening round of the Big 12 Baseball Championship. 6, 7, 8 for the Bears. It's Simmons, Brzezinski, and Johnson to still face Pesca, the right-handed pitcher who came out of the bullpen in the last frame for Oklahoma State.
It was a long inning, prolonged by some pickoff attempts at first.
First pitch. Hunter Simmons takes strike 1 on a sinker at 90 miles an hour. Yeah, my count 7 during the course of one plate appearance.
I think it was 7. Yeah, I think you'd be right.
Now the windup first base side, the 0-1 pitch. The breaking ball, this time he goes with good old Uncle Charlie that misses down and away. The right-handed hitting Simmons is 1 for 2 today. Doubled back in the 2nd inning and struck out swinging in the 4th. Pescaretti, the big boy on the bump, fires. Slider just missed. Must have been by not a lot from our vantage point up here.
I wouldn't tell Pesca about the pickoffs because in addition to being 6'8", he's 275 pounds.
2-1. Swinging a hard ground ball right at short. Ortiz gobbles it up, gloves and throws to first in time for out number 1.
It's a hard hit ground ball over to Ortiz. He does a nice job fielding it into the glove. And a good start for Pesca, as that's about as routine of a ground ball as you can get.
That was 102.5 off the bat. Yeah, that qualifies as smoked.
Yeah.
As here's Gavin Brzezinski, first baseman, bats from the left side as always, 0 for 1 with a walk and was stranded on base. Pesca out of the windup delivers. A backdoor slider in there for a strike. By the way, the book officially closed on the Oklahoma State starter and Sean Youngerman. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned. The 0-1. Brzezowski laid on a fastball and fouls it off down the left field line. Youngerman struck out 5 and walked 2 and threw 75 pitches.
Only 1 earned run, so that tells you all you need to know.
Peska's 0-2 pitch. Fast bears. They try to get him to climb the ladder. No bite there from Brzezowski. The difference so far, that 2-run 3rd inning in which the Bears tied it and then took the lead. 1-2. Fastball up and away, never challenged as well. And the unearned run came on a throwing error by the second baseman, Braden Smith of Oklahoma State, which allowed the game's tying run to score. The go-ahead run got in a scoring position as a result as well. 2-2. That's a changeup that missed down and away to the left-handed hitter, and all of a sudden we're full.
This has been a very prolonged at-bat and a very patient one for the first baseman, trying to battle back here with 1 out.
Peska out of the windup, his payoff pitch. Swinging a line drive, slicing towards the corner, and it keeps on slicing into the seats. So we'll do it once more again. To your point about the prolonged at-bats, no team in the Big 12 Conference has worked more walks than Baylor. That's how good they've been this season. Peska, first base side of the rubber, out of the windup, the 6'8" right-hander with that bright orange glove, delivers. Swinging a high chopper on 3 hops to the second baseman, Braden Smith. He gloves over his left shoulder and throws out the runner at first base for out number 2.
Peska's really settled into this game, it appears so far. A couple of ground outs in the infield. Now we get a really good look at the Baylor bullpen, and that looks like Lucas Davenport instead of Grayson Murray warming up, big number 48.
And you almost wonder how long will it be until we see Gabe Craig. Ty Johnson steps in and time is called. And Mitch Thompson's going to wave Ty Johnson over to talk things over with him and give him a brief pep talk. No one else seems to be grabbing a bat and helmet right now in that Baylor dugout on the first base side. This appears to be more of a scouting report from Thompson than anything else.
And if you're Mitch Thompson, that's signs of a good manager. Just slow things down. You got a minute with nobody on and 2 outs. Keep a guy like Ty Johnson hot. Get him on base because he's got wheels. I mean, it wasn't him that garnered the 7 pickoff attempts, but if he got on, he might garner more.
He got a few when he singled to right center field back in the 4th. Peska out of the lineup, righty to lefty the pitch. Fastball down by the shoe tops for ball 1. Oklahoma State trying to win their 3rd game of the season against Baylor. They need to do it in comeback fashion. That one's in there for a called strike. Changeup at 88. I think a lot of players in the country would kill for an 88-mile-per-hour changeup, BP.
I would have to agree with you. That's about as fast as Calder was throwing his fastball.
1-1. Johnson took. It's a breaking ball off the plate. And that's another hitter's count here for a Baylor Bear.
And even that one at 79, a curveball, that's still pretty fast.
2-1. Fastball inside corner, just missed the belt. And all of a sudden, Johnson's worked a 3-ball count. He's got great speed already. We discussed he was on the base pass the last time up. Already 11 stolen bases here in 2025. Peska works out of the lineup, first base side, deals. Swinging a high chopper to the second baseman, Braden Smith. He gloves and throws and gets the speedy runner Johnson at first base to retire the side. So 3 groundouts in the 6th inning for Oklahoma State. And for the first time tonight, since way back in the 1st inning, the Bears go down in order. We go to the last of inning number 6, 3-1 Baylor, our score. This is the Big 12 Championship on Blaze Radio.
All right, all right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
Race to BlazeRadioOnline.com every Tuesday at 9:30 Arizona time for an hour of motorsports madness.
Join myself, Andrew Hazlett, and my co-host Ethan Ignatowski for the Loose Wheel Show. We'll tell you everything you need to know for the upcoming race week.
From news to predictions, we have you covered, so make sure to tune in.
If you're a tennis fan and want to take a little break from your day, I'm serving up a show for you. This is your host, Pratham Valuri, bringing you Match Point, your weekly tennis content. I'll cover ongoing tournaments, go over the latest news, analyze players and matches, and replay the previous week's biggest moments. Be sure to tune in to Match Point every Wednesday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Are you missing your theater days from high school?
Or interested in diving into the world of musicals?
Then this is the show for you.
Tune in to Blaze Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. for our show Broadway 101.
Each week, we listen to songs from different musicals and dive into the history and significance of each show.
Even after 4 semesters, there are still so many great shows to review.
Keep up with us and follow us on Instagram at Broadway 101 Radio.
For updates and info about future episodes.
Feel free to reach out with show recommendations, and we hope you tune in.
All aboard the Northeast Corridor. I'm Preston Rabb.
And I'm AJ Gonzalez. Sit back and relax as we take you on a 30-minute adventure giving you all the updates from the Northeast.
From sports to politics to the biggest trends.
We got you.
Be sure to listen on BlazeRadioOnline.com. What days are we on, AJ?
Every Tuesday.
That's right. So listen in.
We'll know if you don't listen.
Don't miss out on the hottest growing show on Blaze.
Tune in every Tuesday night only on Blaze Radio for the Northeast Corridor.
7 seconds.
Home half of the 6th inning, and Baylor goes to the bullpen for the first time in this one. The righty Lucas Davenport replaces Ethan Calder, 4-1 record with a 4.17 ERA, as Baylor leads by its score of 3-1. Kevin Later, Brendan Paul with you here for Blaze Radio in our continuing coverage all week long of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Top of the order will be the first assignment for Davenport after Ethan Calder. Phenomenal 5 innings of work, 1 run. It was earned on just 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 1. Smith 0 for 2 steps in from the left side. And he takes a first pitch sinker for a strike at 91 miles an hour.
Davenport, 6'6" righty, transfer from A&M, Texas A&M, and Blinn College, was part of last year's NJCAA National Championship team.
A 1 hammered foul down the left field line. Meanwhile, a Baylor team that needs to win this conference tournament to get to the NCAA regionals. First appearance in this tournament since 2022, looking to even the season series with the Bears. Davenport's 0-2. Swinging a line drive, shallow center field, charging as Johnson will play it on the long hop. And it's a leadoff single for Braden Smith, just the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Cowboys. And that was one of those weird in-betweeners, BP, where off the bat it looked like Johnson may have had a good shot at it.
I think that's a smart play from Ty Johnson out there in center field. You don't want to be overextending and diving for a ball that gets past you, and all of a sudden, instead of Smith being at first, Smith's at second or maybe at third, and that can just trickle into a chaotic inning. So just keep the ball in front of you.
Here's Ian Doherty. First pitch. Right-handed hitting catcher takes strike 1 on a sinker at 91. It's 407 to straightaway center field, and that ball was hit in that direction. So it's going to roll a long way, especially on that artificial surface out there. The 0-1. There's a slider in the dirt. Good block there from Castle. Smith, only a small lead off of first base. He is 8 for 8 this season on stolen base attempts. Double play depth up the middle. As Davenport works out of the stretch, and before he can deliver, Castle will go sprinting out there. I think in part to go over the signs again as well as avoid a pitch clock violation.
And Braden Smith over there at first is a guy who has the speed. He transferred over from Iowa Western Community College, and led the team in stolen bases and leads Oklahoma State in almost every offensive category, obviously except homers and RBIs, which Nolan Schubert leads, who we'll see next.
111 games across 2 years at Iowa Western for him. 402 batting average during his time as a JUCO Bandit. 1-1 pitch to him. There's a breaking ball in the dirt. Good block from Castle. Chested it and keeps it in front and holds Smith at first. It's a spot here for Baylor where things have gotten tricky at points. Trying to connect the starter to Gabe Craig, their what we would assume to be a soon All-American closer. 2-1 grounded weakly up along the third base line. Reebok charges, and they're going to call it a foul ball. Doug Williams, the home plate umpire, out in front of it. Blows the play dead. And it actually might be better for Baylor because they had no shot at Braden Smith at second on that weak little grounder.
Yeah, that was a tailor-made fielder's choice there as Braden Smith was showing off the wheels, beating out that weakly hit grounder over to third.
Doherty now in a 2-2 count. Davenport out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swinging a flare in a shallow center field. Johnson charging in. He'll play it in front of him. It's a base hit. Back-to-back singles to start the 6th inning for the Pokes. And comes from the top of the order in Smith and Doherty.
And again, it's sort of one of those ones that was flared out to center field. You thought initially that Ty Johnson maybe could have played it, but again, he stays up. That's a smart play in this scenario. With the speed of Smith, he could score off that, and you would rather take having 2 on base than 1 on base with a 1-run lead instead of a 2-run lead.
Nolan Schubert, the batter, doubled his last time up. Yeah, that might be a home run, or not a home run that Cowboy fans remember for a while. First pitch, sinker down and out from the left-handed hitting right fielder. He was a literal inch away from what would have been a home run that the time would have tied the game.
Big momentum shift there.
1-0. Fastball up and away. It was called a double on the field by the second base umpire, Angel Campos. It went to review, and there was a great shot from the TV crew that showed it hit the top of the tape but never went over the wall. 2-ball count here to Schubert on the way. Swing and a miss. Sinker downstairs, and Schubert swung over it.
Schubert's done a nice job responding after kind of a slow start today. Big double there in the fourth, and got ahead in this count early, can do some damage if he gets a pitch he likes.
On the way. Another sinker this time down towards the back foot. And it's a hitter's count. They play him on the pull side. Sanders on the lip of the outfield grass and straightaway right. Brzezowski not holding on the runner at first. Long hold from Davenport. Comes home with a 3-1. Swinging a high fly ball, dead center field. Johnson twisting and turning at the wall. He makes the catch. Both runners tag. The throw will go into second base, and they're each in there safely. So a long and productive out for Nolan Schubert. Advances both runners into scoring position. The trail runner is the tying run in this ballgame.
Man, Nolan Schubert might have a couple bat hacks up against the dugout there, because that ball was smoked out to deep center field. I mean, dead red center on the warning track. And instead of being a big fly like it would be at probably about every park in the Big 12, it's a out with 2 runners advancing on the sack.
402 feet is how far that ball traveled, and it's out number 1. Here's Colin Brigham, left-handed hitter with 2 runners, both in scoring position. They play him heavily on the pull side. First pitch to him. Curveball down and in for ball 1. Brigham 0 for 1, popped out to third, walked in the 4th. It was an inning in which Oklahoma State had 2 runners aboard, but couldn't get either across. 1-0. Fastball, that's there for a strike. Brigham this season hitting .326 with runners on base, .354 when they're in scoring position. Smith on third, Doherty on second, The ladder's the tying run, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Sinker fooled him at 92 when it's 1-2.
Big pitch here for Davenport out of the bullpen. First inning, and has already inherited, well, not inherited, created a little bit of trouble.
1-2. Curveball downstairs. Good take there from Brigham. Saw it through the entire way. Kemp, the shortstop, now slides over to the right side of the bag at second. He's on the lip of the grass in center. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Long hole from Davenport, and the pitch. Swinging a slicing line drive into left field, charging and diving and making a great catch is Wesley Jordan. Tagging from third is Braden Smith. He will score. They'll go back to third to appeal. He's safe on the appeal according to the home plate umpire, Doug Williams. Wesley Jordan just took away what would have been a game-tying RBI single from Colin Brighamman. A run does score, so it's 3-2 for the time being, but Mitch Thompson might come out to challenge it to see whether Braden Smith left early or not. If so, that would be an inning-ending double play if he gets this call overturned.
Looking at it on the replay they showed, it looks like Braden Smith initially stayed back long enough, but that's not to take away from a great catch by Wesley Jordan out there in left field that is going to give Baylor a lead regardless of if the call stands or is overturned. It'll either just be a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead as the crew gets together. Now they will officially challenge it, and we'll wait for a replay, but that's a really nice play.
They're trying to sync up the angles on the TV broadcast right now in the booth over to our right and to our left. Catch is made. It's a clean catch there from Wesley Jordan. And I mean, what a spectacular grab. And now let's see. Baylor did the heads-up thing. They cut off the baseball and went to third instead. Oh, I think he might have left early, Brendan. I don't know about you. I think he might have gone early.
Trying to get a little bigger shot of, they had the multi-box there, trying to get the shot of Braden Smith at third and the catch simultaneously. Couldn't quite tell, the box was a little small. Let's see, they're not showing him synced here on the big monitors here in Arlington at Globe Life Field, but
they have the power, obviously, to sync it up in real time in the replay command center that's on site. The umpires have left, and let's see what the call is. He did not leave early. Mitch Thompson is furious. He just slammed his clipboard on the top step of the first base dugout. The one angle we got to look at, he may have left early, and that'll be the big thing. They didn't show a replay that synced up on the big Jumbotron, so we're trying to see the replay and small monitors in other booths to see what the call is. So it's a sacrifice fly for Colin Brighamman. 2 down and a runner on second base for Jason Jones. Davenport fires. Cut on a miss on a curveball down and away.
And Mitch Thompson's face, at least from what we can see and on the television broadcast, is about as red as the Houston Cougar fans' shirts. I mean, he is hopping mad down there on that first baseline dugout.
0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good block from Castle. He knocks it down in front of the plate, and Doherty, who looked like he was getting ready to break for third, holds up at second. I mean, it was a very violent toss to the clipboard on the top step of the dugout when Chris Koski came in and said he was safe at third. He didn't leave early. Davenport now the stretch, the 1-1. Swinging a pop-up behind home plate. It's out of play. And Baylor's a strike away from getting out. There's only 1 run allowed.
That would be big for their confidence. You go into the 7th still with the lead and a chance to widen it back to 2 or more.
Jones 0 for 2 so far. Strikeout, flyout. Davenport ready, he deals. Curveball in the dirt. Good block from Castle. And all The runner and Doherty can do is stay put at second. Oklahoma State so far in this ball game, 0 for 3 of runners in scoring position. 2-2. Swing a chopper up along the third base line. It takes a turn foul. And we'll do it again. Haven't had many chances, and the few they haven't executed either. And even though they've won 9 of their last 10, it still really has been a struggle on the offensive side of the baseball for them.
Yeah, just 4 for 20 in this first round game.
2-2 again. Swing a high one hopper to the third baseman Reebok. He will glove it and throw it. It's up the third base line and gets away from Brzezowski. Around third to tie the game is Doherty on an E5. A routine hard hit one hopper that Reebok had and just simply threw it away up along the first base line.
I don't know what in the world got inside the mind of Reebok to, because you see Doherty going for third, he stops. I don't know if that kind of phased Reebok, but that throw was way offline.
It's an unearned run that now ties the game at 3 here. And now here's Colin Ritchie at the plate, who's already homered in this one. First pitch to him. He swings and drives one. Deep right field, hooking down the line. That ball is foul. Nearly had a second one. The first one, mind you, he sent it all the way to the Love's travel stop in Utoka, Oklahoma.
I'll go pick it up on Friday when I go back through.
The 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2 quickly.
Well, boy, oh boy, this game has certainly changed.
Yeah, a 2 spot here. Baylor commits their first error defensively. A really solid defensive team as well. Now finds themselves on the ropes. 0-2 to Ritchie. Curveball spiked there, and Castle once again does his job well behind the dish.
I mean, we talked about it. Cortland Castle, very stereotypical, very high-minded defensive catcher, doing a heck of a job here in this bottom of the 6th.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, pitch to the dirt. Castle scoops it up, applies the tag on Ritchie, and that ends the inning. But Oklahoma State has tied the game. A crooked number from the Pokes. We're through 6. It's 3-3. This is the 2025 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
7 seconds to go. Three-pointer. Oh, Hutchins! Double order!
Want to stay wrapped up in the madness of March all year round? Tune into Onions on Blaze Radio from 7 to 8 p.m., hosted by Luke Lunder and Christian Jarmark, where we break down everything in college basketball, from the biggest players, the biggest games, and the biggest moments, to the small schools making the Cinderella runs that you won't want to miss. Tune in Monday, 7 to 8 on Blaze Radio.
Yo, flex on them.
Hey everyone, we're Liv and Maddie.
And this is our specialty show, Out of Tune, on Blaze Radio.
Tune in on Mondays at 3 p.m. to hear us talk about our favorite music.
We talk about our favorite bands, songs, and new releases.
And we even go to cover festivals and concerts.
Yes, tune in Mondays at 3 p.m. and follow our Instagram, outoftune.blazeradio.
Or you're not cool. Bye!
We're all tied up at 3 apiece. 7th inning just in a couple of moments between Baylor and Oklahoma State. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is college baseball on Blaze Radio.
You're listening to Arizona State Student Radio. Scouted with the 30 to the near side of the 20. 15 stays inbounds and scores. This is KASC Blaze Radio. BlazeRadioOnline.com.
So how about this baseball game? After Baylor took advantage of a couple of defensive miscues from Oklahoma State in the early frames, A big E5 with 2 outs ends up tying the game for Oklahoma State on offense. 9 in the top of the order for Baylor in a 3-3 game as we begin the top of the 7th inning. Calvin Malater and Brendan Paul with you here for Blaze Radio. As Peska's back to work out of the windup, he deals. And the first pitch is fouled off down the third base line by Cortland Castle, the catcher. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored in this one.
And Castle looking to hopefully break through on the sheet and set the table for the top of the order as the lineup flips over.
The 0-1 home. Slow curve drops off the table and in there for strike 2 called. 77. That big 12-6 hook that Peska has to offer to hitters to both sides of the plate. He works from the first base side of the rubber, kicks, deals. Swinging a line drive back up the middle and through for a base hit. Cortland Castle's aboard for the second time today. That's his first knock, though. And Baylor's got the leadoff man aboard.
Castle does a nice job staying back, driving that one up from where it came. And just, yeah, got a little tomahawk on that one up high in the zone and right over the head of big 6'8" Mario Peska. So that one had some height on it.
So the top of the order comes up here with Enzo Apodaca. One for 3 showing, but he's reached twice. Left-handed hitter, first pitch to him will be in a moment as Peska will check down the runner. Castle in there with a dive. Not a ton of speed. 4 for 7 on the base paths this season in terms of stolen base attempts for the Baylor backstop. Peska out of stretch, first base side. Set to the belt, deals. That one's sliced foul down the left field line.
Got quite a bit. I've been looking at the crowd. We've got orange, we've got green and gold, obviously. We've got purple for K-State, red for Houston coming up. We've got a lot of blue. And that's probably Kansas fans who may be scouting which team they'll be playing tomorrow or maybe just heckling their in-state rivals later tonight.
They'll check on the runner. Leaning was Castle, but he's back in there with a dive with the right hand. Also walking the concourse pregame. Saw some Kansas players actually here.
They did, yeah.
As well as Arizona players earlier, which is interesting because they play at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 0-1. Fastball outside corner. Good spot. And strike 2 called.
It's going to be their bedtime here in a little bit if they want to get up to the park at 7:30 in the morning and be ready for that early game.
Well, they played in Houston over the weekend. They posted they practiced at a college down the street from here on Monday, so I'm assuming they stayed in state throughout the weekend. Peska will jump and spin back to first. Safe there is Castle.
Trying to get acclimated to the central time zone.
And that's what surprised a lot of people when ASU announced they were flying back to Arizona despite being in the central time zone over the weekend in Stillwater. Especially then once they were to earn that 9 a.m. game. Peska's 2-strike pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side. To his left goes Ortiz. He fires the second for 1. The turn to first. Bounced in there, and Apodaca legs it out on a fielder's choice. They get the lead runner there, but that's all. So still a man on base here for Baylor, and what is right now the go-ahead run for the Bears.
That's a good play by the middle part of the infield as Ortiz stays with it, and honestly a pretty good throw from Braden Smith with the weird angle and the time it took to turn around and just beating it out as Apodaca with the speed. You do add some speed on the base path if you're Baylor. You trade Castle for Apodaca, but a big out for Oklahoma State just to get 1.
Here's Travis Sanders, singled and was trending on third 2 innings ago. It's a frame which Baylor got the first 2 runners on base. Long hold from Peska. 5 on the pitch clock. He'll spin back to first, and Apodaca is back in there with a dive. Good speed on the base paths. Lorenzo increases that lead off of first. As Peska holds, delivers. A changeup on the inside corner taken for a strike. Sanders overall in this one. 1 for 3. He's also flown out to center and struck out swinging. All 3 at-bats, though, came against younger men, the Oklahoma State starter. Another throw back to first, and Apodaca's back in there safely. Double play up the middle with 1 gone here. We're in the top of the 7th inning in a 3-3 game between Baylor and Oklahoma State. This is the 7-10 game in the 12-team single elimination tournament here in Arlington, Texas. The 0-1. Curveball missed down and away from the right-handed hitting second baseman of Baylor. The 4th matchup of the season between the Pokes and the Bears. Oklahoma State took 2 of 3 back in early May. Pascal, long hold, first base side. Back to first he goes. And safe there is Apodaca yet again, who reached on a fielder's choice a couple of moments ago. However, Baylor won the last matchup of that series 5-4 in extra innings. Long hold again, 6 on the pitch clock, the 1-1. Swinging a line drive deep right field, sends Schubert back in front of the track. He makes the catch on the run. And Apodaca retreats back to first on the play. A long second out for the Bears, and now Tyreek Kemp comes up with 2 away.
Good read by Schubert out there in right field to put that ball away. Big second out. Now you don't even have to worry about the double play. Just stay focused at Kemp at the plate, as it looks like 2 arms are up and throwing for Oklahoma State, a righty and a lefty. The lefty, or the righty, I should say, very well could be Hunter Watkins, but not 100% sure. Thought I saw a 7.
Here's Tyreek Kemp, 2 RBIs in this one. The team's leaders, up to 41 in that category this season. They'll check on Apodaca again, and he's back in there safely. At this point, I don't think he's going at this point, PP. I don't know about you.
This could be, if they ever put the rule that the MLB has in college, you can look at this game as maybe a reason why.
First pitch. Kemp checks his swing and holds up without an appeal on a breaking ball down and in. We'll call it the Mario Pesca rule. The question is, he's thrown 35 pitches. Has he thrown more pitches or pickoff attempts at first base today?
Probably about even.
1-0 is popped up in a short center field. Ritchie charges, going out as the shortstop Ortiz. The shortstop makes the catch above his left shoulder, and that will end the inning. So the Bears strand a runner, no runs off 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on first base. It's stretch time here at Globe Life Field. 3-3 our score. This is the Big 12 Championship on Blaze Radio.
Hey everyone, it's Alex Swift from Park the Bus.
And as we say now in my country, they brought the bus and they left the bus in front of the goal.
If you want to stay updated with the world of soccer or hear 3 Arsenal fans tell you why we're better than Spurs,
but Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
come check out Park the Bus with me, Alex Swift, Alexander McDonald, and Bob Blue, Tuesdays 9 to 10 a.m. at blazeradioonline.com.
I am Jack Kemmler.
I'm Will Anderson.
And I'm Jason Teeter. Welcome to Roll the Tape, where we take a deep dive into the 2025 NFL Draft.
We will provide you with player breakdowns, mock drafts, prospect rankings, team needs, and much more.
We'll answer some of the draft's biggest questions. Who is the top quarterback? Is Ashton Jeanty a top 5 pick? And can Travis Hunter really play both ways?
We're live every Sunday from 8:30 to 9, right here on Blaze Radio. See you in Green Bay.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
we are proud to bring you the first season of the Scouting Session.
You've all heard about the superstars in sports. You know the legends like Ruth, Gretzky, and Earnhardt, but this show takes you down that ladder. The Scouting Session highlights the young, up-and-coming athletes from across the nation and beyond.
From motorsports to hockey and everything in between, we'll shine the spotlight on the stars of tomorrow.
Tune in Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. Arizona time on Blaze Radio. Or find our full podcast on YouTube at West Coast Sports News.
We have stretched here at Globe Life Field in a tie ball game between Oklahoma State and Baylor, 2 long-standing Big 12 rivals, going to battle here on day 1 of the Big 12 Championship. Bottom of the order here for Oklahoma State. The Pokes send Avery Ortiz up first. Right-handed and shortstop stands in and takes a fastball in for ball one. The sinker baller Lucas Davenport remains in the game after conceding the game's tying runs. As of now, both of them have been ruled unearned. The 1-0. Another sinker up and in at 90 miles an hour, and it's a 2-ball count to Ortiz, who's 0 for 2 in the ballgame.
This matchup between Oklahoma State and Baylor across all sports has really been exciting over the years.
2-0 is pummeled high and deep, but way foul. Through one of the support beams, then it hit a second support beam and goes crashing down into the stands. Some people were trying to run away from it, and they almost ran into it because of the way it hit a second support beam.
Yeah, the lady down there that was running out of danger, it dropped about 2 inches in front of her.
2-1. Ortiz hits it hard on the ground past the diving man, and Reebok Kemp jumps and will pocket the throw. So he keeps the ball in the infield, but it's an infield leadoff single for Avery Ortiz.
And that one just past the outstretched glove of Reebok, and Kemp realizing that the jump throw probably not the greatest idea, considering you're probably not going to get him at that juncture. You don't want another Reebok type error that cost you, and now looks like there's going to be a pinch runner out there.
It will be a pinch runner. It is Drew Culbertson, sophomore infielder, who enters here for the Pokes. Greenwood, Indiana native, transfer from the University of Missouri. In the run for Ortiz on first base. 3 stolen bases on the season in 4 attempts. Davenport out of the stretch, fires a sinker down and away from left-handed hitting Alex Conover. 0 for 2 in this one. The left fielder has grounded out to first and flown out to left in this one.
Interesting move to put Culbertson in the game here, because Ortiz is not the slowest guy on this Oklahoma State roster, but Culbertson, that speedy infielder, hadn't gotten a lot of playing time. Got a bunch of starts last year at Mizzou, and now it looks like Baylor's going to have a conference out there on the mound, as they now inherit a new runner out there, so might as well be a good time to have a chat.
As Drew Craig begins warming up for Baylor. We expect to be eventually All-American closer. Warming up at Sean Snedeker out there, first-year pitching coach. And now jogs back towards the dugout. Gabe Craig warming up right now. So if it's Oklahoma State, it almost feels like it's now or never type scenario here.
Absolutely. You got to get something going if you're Oklahoma State, especially since you're approaching the top part of the order. The middle part has really been what they've relied on so far.
1 ball. The pitch is bunted foul behind home plate from Conover. 1-1 count, no one out here, bottom of the 7th in a tie game, 3-3 with a runner on first base. Here at the 2025 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Kevin later, Brendan Paul with you here for Blaze Radio. Davenport out of the stretch, deals. A sinker that catches the low outside corner. It's 1-2. Davenport in his 2nd inning of relief for the Bears. Double play up the middle. He'll spin for and back to first, and Culbertson's in there with a dive. Little hesitation there before he threw it as well.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know how many pickoffs we get here with this being Baylor, but it is a pinch runner, so you could see a handful of attempts here.
1-2, curveball in the dirt, check swing, they appeal, he went, says Chris Koski at third. That ball just tied him up. And that's a big first out here in the 7th for Lucas Davenport.
Yeah, Davenport really needed that, as Conover was trying to get something going in connection with Drew Culbertson at first, and now they'll have to put those plans on hold with Brock Thompson coming to the dish.
Thompson represents the 9-hole spot, left-handed hitter. Takes a sinker for a strike down the middle. 91 from Davenport. Thompson 0 for 2 today so far.
You want to talk about a guy who would be a danger if he got on base. You're looking at him. Thompson 11 for 11 on stolen bases.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss on a curveball with 12-6 motion. And it's quickly a 2-strike count to Thompson. Trying to get this one here. Top of the order on deck in Braden Smith, who singled and scored just an inning ago. Double played up the middle. As Davenport will check on the runner. Safe there is Culbertson. It was actually a lot closer than it probably should have been. Still a righty and lefty up for Oklahoma State. Right-hander up and throwing for Baylor. The 2-strike pitch. Curveball in the dirt, blocked by Castle. No movement from the runner. Thompson entered this game a .227 hitter. Driven in 24 runs so far. A .790 OPS. A 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Held up. They ask, no swing, says Chris Koski over at third.
Good take there from Brock Thompson. Battling back in this count, got behind quickly, but is now drawing it even. And this is a chance where you can't afford to be leaving runners stranded.
2-2. Curveball just missed downstairs. He got it over the plate just a little bit below the knees of the left-hander hitting Thompson, and we run full. That's a pro take right there from the 9-hole guy. Runner likely on the move. There he goes in the 3-2. It's swung on and missed. Yeah, it is. They're going to say he didn't get a piece of it. And now they have the runner caught up between second and third, scampering back to second as Culbertson as chaos ensues. And now Chris Koski, the third base umpire, comes barreling down the third baseline to talk with his partner, Doug Williams.
And Josh Holliday is out of the dugout. He about ran onto the field when they did that. There was absolute pandemonium from the Oklahoma State dugout. And Josh Holliday said, no, 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 ran darn near into the third base coach's box. He was not having any of that. So we'll see what the conference does.
The call was out. No foul tip from the home plate umpire, Doug Williams. So this presides everyone's favorite challenge to baseball fan. How can an umpire 120 feet away overturn a foul tip? That's the question, right? Does Chris Koski at third or Seth Buckminster at first have an angle in your mind in which they could overturn this call? That's the question here.
It's always tough with the umpires that are not right behind the play, seeing the play. They're gonna either have to rely on the call at home plate, and it looks like they got the tip there. So they're gonna send Culbertson back to first, and oh boy, here comes Mitch Thompson.
He's gonna want an explanation on this one. Mind you, I think he might be a clipboard down at this point because of his reaction to the call being confirmed on the appeal way back in the 6th inning, which I know was only an inning ago, but feels like forever ago at this point, the pace of play here in this one, where he thought, and based off the couple of the angles they showed on TV, it looked like Braden Smith left early. Baylor challenges it. After a long, lengthy review, they uphold the call on the field, which was he was safe. He did not leave early. And Mitch Thompson standing on the first base chalk line, face to face with Doug Williams, hands on his hips in disgust. Chris Koski kind of just shoos him back to the dugout, which Thompson didn't like that motion the third base umpire gave him. They exchanged a couple of words, and Thompson strolls back to the first base side in which Baylor resides here at Globe Life Field as the visiting team in this ballgame.
My goodness, and Mitch Thompson, really red face there. It looks like steam whistle blowing out of the top of his head if he was a cartoon character.
So 3-2, 1 away now to Thompson. Davenport delivers, runner moves. This pitch is fouled off down the left field line. One out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 3-3 between Baylor and Oklahoma State. Winner gets Kansas tomorrow afternoon in the quarterfinal round of this Big 12 championship. Double play up, still up the middle. Third baseman Reebok well off the line. Runner goes on another 3-2. A swing and a pop up down the left field line, slicing, and will find its way off the protective netting for a foul ball. Good battle here from Brock Thompson. Although he's got nothing to show for it with the 0 for 2 line so far, he's put up a couple of really good ABs tonight.
He has, and this is a third in that category. And this is coming from a freshman. So if you're Josh Holliday watching this, you're very pleased with what you're seeing from your 9-hole guy, even though he does not have a hit.
3-2 again. Fastball, ball 4. It missed down and away. Castle cooked the runner at second base. Had it been strike 3. Instead, now it's first and second. The go-ahead run for Oklahoma State just 180 feet away.
And I think the Baylor fans were a little late to realize kind of what happened. They're all cheering like they got out of the inning, and then you saw the arms flailed out in disgust as they called ball 4. And now, if you're Davenport on the mound, this is what they call a sticky wicket, as you now got to work with 1 out and 2 on base, and that might be it for Davenport here as Mitch Thompson comes out.
Mitch Thompson comes out. Gabe Craig was warming up in that Baylor bullpen. Thompson's yet to signal so far. He might be trying to give his closer an extra moment or two to get ready. And there's the signal to the bullpen. So we expect this to be Gabe Craig coming into this one. Another high leverage situation. Davenport's day is done. And we'll take a break. 3-3. Go-ahead runs on base for Oklahoma State with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Gabe Craig to work when you come back. This is college baseball here on Blaze Radio.
If you like National League Baseball, then tune into the Senior Circuit, Sundays, 7 to 8 p.m. Arizona time on Blaze Radio.
Shohei Ohtani's just not going to be that good of a pitcher.
Ryan Nelson has all-star potential.
My hot take for the National League is that the Pirates will finish at the top of the National League Central and claim a spot in this year's playoffs.
Are you looking to discover new music? You found the right place. My name is Aurelie Rodriguez, host of Static Buzz, where I explore all kinds of music. Join me every Friday at 3 on Static Buzz at blazeradioonline.com. See you then.
You like hoops? I know I do. And with the NBA season starting, there's no better place for basketball content than To The Baja Podcast. Join the host Isai Romero, Ronan Haycoop, and Ryan Myers through the world of basketball. From college hoops, the NBA, and the WNBA, we got you covered and more, with in-depth analysis and entertaining basketball content with new segments and topics every single week. Listen live, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio or blazeradioonline.com, and find us on Spotify and X at To The Baja Pod.
Adventurer, quickly, I don't have much time. I have a quest for you. You must travel to blazeradioonline.com to listen to the stories on Traveler's Guide to Faerun. Find the dutiful guide, Anion Fac McDaniels, who can tell you all about the legendary lore of the world behind Dungeons & Dragons every single week. Remember, Adventurer, Traveler's Guide to Faerun, every Wednesday night at 8, only on Blaze Radio. Adventure awaits.
In comes Gabe Craig for Baylor, the redshirt senior right-hander into work. The all-star closer, 3-0, a .59 earned run average this season, 10 saves across 30 1/3 innings of work. And his responsibility is to get 2 outs against the top of the order of Oklahoma State.
And Gabe Craig has just been the lockdown guy over the past couple of years for Baylor. Past 2 seasons had 32 appearances, spent some time at Texas A&M and 2 non-consecutive years at Tyler Junior College in 2020 and 2022.
His first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 94 miles an hour. 21 of his 23 outings thus far have been scoreless. 13 of those hitless. Out of the stretch, first base side is 0-1. Swing and a miss, carved him up with a slider, and it's 0-2 in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I'd say that Gabe Craig, with these early pitches here, has got the fastball and the slider working pretty well. I mean, small sample size, but based on those swings.
Long hold, his 0-2 pitch. Slider in the dirt, picked by Kessel, and both runners hold. Culbertson, the pinch runner, on second. Thompson on first. 1 out here in the last of the 7th inning in a 3-3 game. In what is a season on the line game for the Baylor Bears. Craig ready, a 1-2. Hard hit but foul, right of first base.
He got a hold of a slider that was drifting well inside and got pretty good contact on it as he drilled it foul down the first base line, so maybe something to look out for. Might not see that one again.
Long hold. Another 1-2. He got him. Went around too far on a fastball up and tight. Smith couldn't hold it. Doug Williams calls him out. And another strikeout for the dominant right-hander Gabe Craig. That's his 48th strikeout of 2025 as a reliever.
Yeah, when he looks like he's going to make contact with the slider, yeah, just blow the fastball right by him, and that's what Gabe Craig has done so well, has mixed up the fastball and the off-speed so well, and has been a dangerous combination.
Here's Ian Doherty, the catcher, lays off 95 up and away. He singled and scored off the E5 from Pearson Reebok in the 6th. Chance here now to put his team up on top. Oklahoma State hasn't led since the 2nd inning. The 1-0's pop foul just right of home. And it was that Ritchie no doubt home run to right center field. But Baylor immediately responded with 2 in the top of the 3rd inning, so it was a very short-lived lead.
And if you're wondering how long they're going to let Craig go, he's only pitched more than 2 innings once.
1-1, slider drops in there. That's dirty right there from Craig, and it's 1-2 with 2 away.
And the only time he did it, he went 4 1/3 against Oklahoma State.
First base side of the rubber, the tall, lanky right-hander sets, deals. Hard hit ground ball back up the middle. Kemp, the shortstop, has it go through his legs and into left center field. Culbertson in to score. They'll hold Thompson at 3rd. Oklahoma State leads. 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th on another crucial error by a Baylor infielder. How did that get through?
That's tough. That is a tough break for Tyreek Kemp. And they hadn't officially ruled it. Now, okay, they just called it an error. I would be shocked if it wasn't, but you never know. Wow.
E6 to give Baylor a deficit and the Cowboys a lead. After taking a 1.3-1 lead, Baylor has given up 3 unanswered runs, and all of them have been unearned. They're on the corners now for Nolan Schubert. First pitch to him. Lefty cuts and misses at a slider towards his back foot. 3 consecutive, just want to reemphasize that, unearned runs from Oklahoma State to take a 4-3 lead.
And this is the most errors we've seen in a game in this tournament, 2 aside. Texas Tech had 3 in the last game.
0-1, another slider down and in. Swung on and missed by Schubert. It's 0-2 quickly.
But none from Cincinnati. So 4 errors by the 2 combined teams has resulted in quite a few unearned runs, because 2 of the ones that Baylor got were unearned as well.
No errors, by the way, in the opener this morning between Arizona State and BYU. Craig steps off. Schubert steps out. Both dig back in. 0-2, 2 away. Craig delivers. Tap foul off the end of the bat on another hanging slider. Schubert lucky just to get the end of the bat on it.
Schubert in the last two ABs has hit the ball really well, but Gabe Craig has his number so far. Hoping to change that here with this one and put some insurance on the board for OK State.
Thompson fakes the steal. The 0-2's pop foul above the third base dugout. Schubert has a double, sandwiched 2 flyouts in this one to third and to center. He was inches away from what would have been a tying home run in the fourth. Another 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fooled him with a slider down and in, and Craig gets out of it. But Oklahoma State takes the lead on another error from the left side of that Baylor defense. We go to the 8th. It's Oklahoma State 4, Baylor 3 at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship on Blaze Radio.
Forks Up Sun Devils. Join me, Chris Town, as I scour the entirety of ASU to find the heroes who do it all. The unsung who brave the challenges to make our university at the top. Let's bring the spotlight to those who do the most and see how they do it all. Join me for the Unsung Heroes of ASU, live every Thursday at 3 p.m. only on Blaze Radio.
Come on, Midland. Come on, Elledge. Close this game out. It's tied 4-4. We can bring this to extra innings. You're the most reliable reliever in baseball right now in the AA. Come on.
The pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You had one job. Oh, this is why I listen to Up on Deck every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on Blaze Radio. So tune in to become hopeful for your MLB team.
Do you care about West Coast sports? If so, tune into specific sports at blazeradioonline.com on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. West Coast natives Noah Chavez and Jordan Pullett discuss everything to do West Coast sports in the spring semester. So you're thinking March Madness, NBA playoffs, NFL draft, the start of the WNBA season, the beginning of the MLB season, and more. All on blazeradioonline.com on Wednesdays at 11 a.m.
Do you ever look at someone and
For the first time since the second inning, Oklahoma State has a lead in this baseball game. 4-3 Pokes as we begin the top of the 8th inning. As Baylor sends the middle of their lineup up here, Wesley Jordan first in, and he takes a fastball off the corner from Mario Pesca for ball 1.
Pesca still humming along, 2 2/3, 1 punch out only, but only's allowed 1 hit.
1 ball pitch. In at the letters. And Jordan's got a hitter's count here. Single in the 3rd inning, along with a flyout and a strikeout. Pesca out of the lineup, first base side. 6'8" righty delivers. A foul off the foot of the hitter, Jordan.
And a couple of arms warming for OK State. It's Hunter Watkins as well as Brennan Phillips. So Pesca probably doesn't have much longer any side of trouble. He may be relieved of duty.
2 balls, 1 strike. Pesca, a long hold, down to 7 on the pitch clock. He delivers. So in a high fly ball, playable in a shallow center field. Charging in, Ritchie. He gloves it above the bill of his ball cap for out number 1.
And that's what Pesca's done, pitch to contact. He's recorded 9 outs now, and only 1 of them's been a strikeout. So he's been a guy that's gonna rely a little more heavily on the defense than maybe Youngerman did in the early going of this game. And it's worked so far, so good for Oklahoma State.
To your point, as Reebok steps in, takes a fastball down the middle for a strike. Pesca only averages about less than a strikeout an inning this season. Not a big strikeout guy compared to a lot of other relievers in the conference. The 0-1. Swing a hard hit ground ball right into the shift on the right side. The Second baseman Braden Smith gobbles it up. His throw to first with ease for out number 2.
And it's not like these are, I mean, they are routine for the most part, but they're still hard hit balls. I mean, you could hear the ping off the metal bat there from Reebok. That one was gotten quite a bit of a hold of there by Reebok.
Hunter Simmons, the DH, steps up with 2 away and no one on base. Doubled way back in the second. Since then, he's 0 for 2. And the pitch. Slider down and away. He misses the right-handed hitter. Baylor hasn't scored since the 5th inning when they got up to a 3-1 advantage. The 1-0's tap foul behind home and off the catcher, Doherty, who goes hobbling up along the third base line. Probably got him in a spot where there's no gear protection.
Which that's tough to do because nowadays catchers with a lot of gear, and it looks like Doherty hunched over the trainer coming out for Oklahoma State just to look at him, but he's going to shrug him off and keep going.
The one thing that's still really exposed at this point, if you're a catcher in the game of baseball in 2025, is the thigh area.
And that might be where it got him.
1 ball, 1 strike. Doherty says, I'm good, let's roll. And so does Doug Williams behind the plate. Pesca out of the windup. First base side, kicks, and the pitch. Changeup misses upstairs. And it's 2-1.
This is a big spot for Hunter Simmons to get back to what he was doing in his first AB. Smoked a double into the gap, but since then has been kept in check with a strikeout and a groundout.
2-1. Swinging a rocket. Left field and down for a base hit in front of Conover. A 2-out knock there for Hunter Simmons, and let's see if it starts a rally for the Bears.
Oh, right on cue. There you go. Second hit of the day for Hunter Simmons, and now this is a chance to really get something going, and it looks like might be a pinch hitter here. 22 would be Jack Little.
The sophomore infielder will pinch hit for Gavin Brzezowski.
And a pinch runner at first, Caleb Bergman.
Bergman, a junior. Good speed out there. So a couple replacements here. As they check down the runner back in there safely. As Jack Little is the pinch runner. Pesca, long hold, fires. Fastball taken for a strike. Caleb Bergman is the pinch runner. Jack Little the pinch hitter. They mixed up the announcements. Here in the ballpark. They'll check on the runner. Bergman back in there with a dive. 1 for 1 this season on stolen base attempts.
Jack Little, a transfer out of Wichita State. Was injured last year, didn't play, but made it to the All-American Conference freshman team in 2023.
0-1. Slider down and away. Never challenged the right-handed hitting pinch hitter.
Lots of action in the Baylor bullpen as well, as see Cole Stasio warming up as well as Bryson Bales.
We'll check on the runner. Bergman back in there with a dive. Jack Little this season hitting .221. He's driven in 30 runs actually. And he's hitting .225 with runners on base. Long hold from Pesca, first base side. Out of the stretch, the 1-1. Breaking ball, tried to check his swing, couldn't hold up. It's 1-2.
Big spot for Pesca, trying to get out of this inning. Is Mitch Thompson sort of saying that he's pulling all the stops out here with a pinch runner and a pinch hitter, realizing that you've got 4 outs left and your season might be over.
Peska ready, 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He blows by a curveball at 78 past the pinch hitter, Jack Little. And the 2-out rally will end with 1. We go to the last of the 8th. Oklahoma State leads by 1. It's 4-3 Cowboys. This is college baseball on Blaze Radio.
Look at someone and wonder,
why do you root for that sorry excuse for a sports team?
Join Parker Perrell and a weekly guest as they discuss why people root for certain sports teams. Because we all have that one friend who likes to be difficult and picks a team to root for like the Dodgers. I mean, come on, it's the Dodgers. Anyways, make sure to tune in every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Arizona time on BlazeRadioOnline.com to find out
why them.
You Throw Like a Girl,
a show by girls for everyone.
Hosted by Madison Holder
and Ella Walter-Sanchez. We aim to shed light on women in sports and media, highlighting every aspect of the sports world from the female perspective and beyond.
Tune in for a variety of episodes featuring guests, Q&As, and just basic sports coverage.
Tune in Thursdays at 10 a.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com every week to hear our show.
Follow us on Instagram at youthrowlikeagirl.pod to find us on more platforms.
Have you or a loved one experienced FOMO from not listening to the 480 experience? Well, now you can tune in on Blaze Radio from 8 to 9 o'clock on Monday nights to hear me, Kai Jenagabis, and Strider Bigler talk about all things Arizona sports related on blazeradio.com, where you can hear our hottest takes.
I believe that if the Cardinals have one more failure of a season, they will trade Kyler Murray and rebuild around a different quarterback.
Our picks of the week, and the rest of what's to come on the 480 experience.
Beautiful Wednesday night here in Arlington, Texas. That's because the roof is closed, and it's a climate-controlled ballpark here as Baylor and Oklahoma State go into battle as they always do, with the Cowboys leading the Bears by a score of 4-3. And the 105th all-time meeting between the two sides, as the first pitch is a fastball blown right by Colin Brighamman from Gabe Craig. Craig out there for a second inning of relief, trying to throw a 0 up on the board and keep this a 1-run game. Slider down and in, swung on and missed for strike 2.
They're going to have to keep this roof on tomorrow as rain is in the forecast. Don't know at what point, but at some point there is rain projected in the Arlington area.
0-2. Slider tried to back foot him. Good hold from the lefty. Brighamman, who had that sacrifice fly in the 6th inning, which created some slight controversy about whether the runner on third, Braden Smith, left early or not. Baylor challenged, lost the challenge. No one knows what happened there, though. The 1-2. Swing a high fly ball down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. This ball is foul. Just out in front. Would have been a huge insurance solo home run. Instead, it's a long extra strike. Righty to lefty. Craig out of the stretch. 1-2. Fastball up and away. They try to get him to chase. Do you like the sequencing here from Gabe Craig in this one so far?
I do. I think that high fastball on 1-2 is a great pitch because gotten a couple of guys to chase or at least check and think about it.
2-2. Got him looking. Froze him with a backdoor curveball at 84. Nothing Brighamman could do with that one. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gabe Craig. And there's one gone.
84 on a curveball. That's impressive. And a backdoor one at that, that'll freeze a hitter for sure, because with the speed, might not be expecting it to move like a breaking ball, but it did just that, and that's part of the reason why Gabe Craig has been so good at his craft this year.
So here comes Jason Jones, reaches on an E5, back in the 6th. He rinds that one down the right field line, hooking towards the foul pole. That one just misses the foul pole by 5 feet to the right. That's another long strike to a Cowboy hitter today. They're knocking on the doorstep. The 0-1. In on the hands, look out.
And Jason Jones came around to score on the error that ended up tying the game. So looking to come through in a way that gets him in the hit column.
Swinging a high chopper on 4 hops to the shortstop, Tyreek Kemp. Long throw across the diamond. It's there for out number 2.
Good throw by Kemp. Pretty routine play there, making it look easy. And now Craig an out away from going multiple relief innings here and just eating up some time and keeping the game steady.
He enters this game with a stretch in which he hasn't allowed a run over his last 11. Now make it 12 1/3. And a scoreless streak of now 20 innings straight. 2 away now, no one on board for Callan Ritchie. Homered back in the second, the pitch. Fastball to the left-handed hitter, taken for a strike.
94 on that one. I mean, that's tough for a lot of guys to catch up with.
Craig sets the 0-1. Slider down and in, taken, and it's 0-2 quickly. That's just unfair.
Yeah, he's really got the stuff working now, and even better than he had it before, which he was already controlling things.
Ritchie is slightly open, stands from the right side, awaits an 0-2. Swing a line drive, and it's way foul down first.
That's interesting. That's the second time a slider in near the hands to a lefty has been hit really on the screws, foul. And then the next pitch on the first time was a fastball right by him. Let's see if he goes back to the well and gets the same result.
0-2. Goes fastball, 93, went upstairs. No swing from Ritchie. Couple of arms thrown in the Baylor bullpen, hoping they can get it to the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, Patrick Hale and Cole Stasio, 2 righties up there.
1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Slider by his back foot. Gabe Craig in prime form this evening. 3 up, 3 down goes Oklahoma State in the 8th inning. Baylor's season on the line when you come back to the 9th we go on Blaze Radio.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy New, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the playoff push for NBA and AHL, the start of baseball season, all of March Madness, and so much more. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk about sports. So join the conversation. Listen live on BlazeRadioOnline.com every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Or, if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Landon.
And I'm Bella.
And welcome to Albumsplain.
Every week we'll be dissecting and discussing one of our favorite albums.
From No Doubt to Claro, tune in to hear us chat about our favorite thing, music. Tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. on Blaze Radio Online.
Or listen on your favorite podcast streaming service.
See you soon.
See ya!
Sitting in traffic, bored of listening to the same artist on repeat? Tune in to Alternative Route instead, the music show on Blaze Radio that talks about a Latin artist or band every week that is making music in the indie and or alternative rock genres. Join DJ Mavette for the 2nd season of Alternative Route as she breaks down these artists' innovations and analyzes their songs in order to understand their craft better. Take the Alternative Route every Tuesday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. live on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Hello, friends. Is golf your groove? Then boy, do we have a show for you. Join Peter Bishop, Ian Lonergan, and Owen Castle every Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. on BlazeRadioOnline.com for your latest golf news.
To the 9th we go. 4-3 Oklahoma State on top. 8-9 in the top of the order for Baylor against Gabe Davis of Oklahoma State into the ball game. Out of the lineup, his first pitch to Ty Johnson. He squares to bunt. He drops it down, but it's fouled to the right of home.
Davis, 6'9", was a dominant pitcher at Choctaw High School, which is led by Shane Hawk, a former Oklahoma State pitcher. Actually got the win in the Big 12 title game last year in this building against OU.
The third baseman, Thompson, now cheats in the lip of the infield grass. Davis, 6'9", delivers. Thompson, or Johnson, I should say, fouls it off his front foot, and he's behind 0-2 quickly. The Baylor center fielder, a 1-for-3 showing so far off a single to right center field back in the fourth. They now back up with 2 strikes. First base side of the rubber, Davis. Kicks, deals. Swinging a pop-up third base side, out of play. Johnson, Castle, and Apodaca, the scheduled 3 up here for the Bears, needing 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. Well, the goal is 1. Another 0-2 pitch coming. Off the end of the bat, fouled straight back. Johnson just stays alive.
If you want to look for a portion of the infield that these Baylor hitters may be lighting up, it's near the middle of the ballpark where the shortstop is. The newly inserted Drew Culbertson may have some tough, cold feet there.
The 0-2 once more. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him out in front with a changeup down and away. And there's out number 1 here in the 9th.
Good changeup there. I mean, that's a 13 or 14 mile an hour difference between that pitch and the fastball. We saw it up there at the two Gabes. The two Gabes battling with 95 mile an hour fastballs. Gabe Craig for Baylor and Gabe Davis for Oklahoma State, and then you mix in an 81 mile an hour changeup, and that's tough for a hitter to adjust to.
Here's Castle with 1 away, no one on base. Swings the first pitch, grounds it to the right side. Dropping to a knee is the second baseman, Smith. He gets back up and throws him out at first. 2 gone in the 9th.
That's what you want if you're Gabe Davis. You get Castle out, you don't let the bottom of the order get on, and now it's just you against the hitter for Apodaca, who is a speedster. He's reached a couple of times today.
Enzo Apodaca reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th. He's scored 2 of Baylor's 3 runs tonight. Davis out of the lineup, kicks, fires. Swinging a pop-up, left side. Thompson giving chase in foul ground. This will find its way into the stands.
That was near some of the members of the Kansas University baseball team that await the winner of this game.
And 2 strikes. It'll be the Oklahoma State Cowboys. A lot can happen, though.
For sure.
In that time. Davis, 0-1. Down and in. Apodaca, very patient hitter up there, as we've seen all throughout the season. He's not going to chase it many pitches outside the zone. Slightly open stance from the left side, awaits the 1-1. Swinging, it's yanked foul down the right field line, and now Oklahoma State's a strike away.
This is a big moment in the game. If you're Gabe Davis, don't even focus on anything else. This is where you gotta best on best against the top of the order for Baylor. I'd look for that high heat.
Here's the 1-2. Swinging a high fly ball, dead center field. Ritchie drifting back in front of the track. He makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Oklahoma State rallies in the later 3rd and wins it by a final of 4-3 to advance to the Big 12 quarterfinals.
That's a gritty win for Oklahoma State. It was by no stretch pretty, and probably not what Josh Holliday was hoping for when they came out here to play this game, but that's what good teams do. They find a way to win in extremely less than ideal circumstances, and that's exactly what it was. Pitching for both sides really was phenomenal, but the infield work then the backstops have got to do a little bit of work to clean up some of their mistakes because they were really costly.
Yeah, 4 combined errors between the two sides, which included all 3 runs that Oklahoma State scored unanswered to end this ball game being unearned runs. That is something you don't see too often.
Not at all.
So Oklahoma State will advance. They'll play the 2 seed, the Kansas Jayhawks, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. for our friends listening back in Arizona. We still got 1 game left on the docket here from Globe Life Field. 6-11 matchup between the Kansas State Wildcats and the Houston Cougars. Brennan will be on the call. Aiden O'Neill will rejoin him in a little bit. For all of us at Blaze Sports, from our partner Brennan Paul, I've been Cavalier saying so long from Globe Life Field. We'll be back in a little bit with Houston and K-State. The Pokes survive.